the shadows lie. Grip the handle, feel the engines roar. Freedom ain't a dream, it's the open door. Ride the storm, feel the thunder break. Cut the change and let the earth quake. Born to run, born to never fold. Heart of fire, soul of untamed gold. Night's a beast, it devours the weak. Steel and fire, the language I speak. Dust in my lungs, wind in my face. Speed's my temple, this road's my grace. Ride the storm, feel the thunder break. Cut the change and let the earth quake. Born to run, born to never fold. Heart of fire, soul of untamed gold. Ain't no cage that can hold me down. No leash, no chains, no goddamn crown. I'm a rebel, yeah, my spirit's raw. The world can't touch.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. We are at Pocono, the longest straightaway in sim racing and actual racing here tonight. It's the tricky triangle, 3 corners, all different corner methods going into tonight's race. I am joined here by Wes and Nigel. Dean up in the production booth getting ready to show us all of the cameras here tonight as we get ready to go over to the grid. Sponsored by CT Electrical here on the Highline HQ. As Nigel, how's it going here tonight?
Good, thank you, and hopefully good evening to everyone watching out there online at the moment on YouTube and Facebook. Better get to the grid. We're about to go green.
Yes, starting at grid is going to be Dave O for Nitro and P number 1 with Scott Rankin on his outside for Vortex Sim Racing. Row number 2, starting in P number 3, is going to be the number 7 of Billy Mole. In 4th is going to be Kute Dow for Nitro. Row number 3, starting at 5th position, is going to be Keith Hackney, the number 6, with Logan Keys, Tuesday night's winner, starting on the outside in P number 6. 7th is going to be Aaron Borg. In 8th is going to be the first entry for project number 36 of Jamie Davis. Running out your top 10 in row number 5 is going to be Ryan Barber in the 05 and Tom Freer in the number 41. Running out your top 10.
You there, Wesley?
11th will be Jeffrey Sinclair. 12th is going to be Josh Micklemore in the number 31. Row number 7 and 13th is going to be Brad Newman in the Lobs Esports with Angus Lawford on his outside in 14th. Row number 8, starting in 15th, is going to be Jason Holdsworth with Fitzroy Beaumont in the number 16, starting outside. Row number 9 on the inside is going to be Matt Danson in the number 30 with Ben Faulkner in P number 18. Row 10, starting inside, your top 20 is going to be Jason Martin in the number 21 with Dave Douglas starting position 20th. Adam Gray is going to be... Oh, sorry.
I'll do the rest for you there. Dylan, I'll give you a break. Adam Gray in the Vegemite car in car 57 starting 22nd on his outside. Riley Curtis from Nitro Racing. Starting in P23 tonight is the Project 36 car of David Lawler on his outside. Simboys is 45 of Gary Wellman. Row 13, we've got Ross Armour there in the 2 Elders car, and on his outside, the Simboys car of the 23 of Troy Davison. Row number 14, Tyson Broad for Logitech. Drop Bear in the 00 on his outside. Giuseppe Malio, hopefully if I pronounced that right, let me know. Position 29 is Vermilion Esports, Joshua Hodgson. On his outside is Andy Barbers. Southern Stars car in the 05 car. Position 35, Chris Bleakley for 19 on his outside. Brad Wright in the 19 car. Row 17, the Brendan the Cooch Griffiths. And on his outside is the other 19 car of Kelvin Clark in the 777. And the final car on the pit no, he's been out, so that's all our cars. We're going racing.
33 cars making the call here tonight, getting ready to go green for the first time here tonight. Green flag, Dave-O going to lead us to the green flag with Scott Rankin on his outside, and already towards the back, Brad Newman diving down to the inside, going to make it 3 wide, going into turns number 1 for the first time here at Pocono. And watch them all fan out inside, middle, outside, all the way to the outside wall, but it's going to be Dave-O getting clear possibly off of turns number 1 and 2. Not going to be able to get there. The outside is going to have the run. Dave-O is going to jump in line behind Scott Rankin as he's going to take the race lead going into the tunnel turn for the first time. Not a lot of letting off the throttle going in there as we have our first caution towards the back. 3 trucks getting collected into the tunnel turn. Ryan Barber going to be one of them up in the outside wall. And Nigel, this is going to be one of those little bit of the trouble spots going into this corner. Not a lot of lifting going into the tunnel turn. It's kind of not banked. It's got a little bit of a banking, but still a lot of trouble here in turn number 2.
And you can get very, very loose through here to see the replay that's happening right here. We're on to see the Adam Gray and Nitro's car of Riley Curtis. Oh! We've got 2 incidents there. We've got the 05 and Riley gets, it looked like there was a little bit of a connection issue there between the 2 cars. We can go back and have a look at that there. And one. So here we see we go into the, if we go 4 wide here.
Oh, yeah, we got 4 wide. Brad Newman kind of right there in the middle as we get another look at it. Jason Holdsworth right behind him. And then you got Fitzroy Beaumont down in the inside of Brad Newman and just 4 wide going into the tunnel turn there. Nigel not going to be able to work. A little bit of connection issues between the 136 and 093 of Riley Curtis. And then, as you see there, Nigel, all 3 of those trucks up there towards the top part of the wall, and everybody's trying to make it through 4 wide. Fitzroy Beaumont trying to make his truck as wide as possible. Not going to be able to get there. Jeffrey Sinclair getting involved. Then you got Ryan Barber and Riley Curtis. Those are the 3 trucks going to be up on the outside wall. And Nigel, with Pocono being as big of a track as it is, Arrow is definitely going to be your friend out here tonight, as you see there. Another great look as Ryan Barber backs it in the outside wall. Doesn't look to have too much damage on that number 05 machine, but Jeffrey Sinclair got rear-ended by the number 093 of Riley Curtis, who's just trying to get it slowed down, but he had a little bit of an issue getting connected by the Project 130 or Project 36 machine. But already first caution out here tonight at Pocono. And I had the chance to get down there on the racetrack earlier that week and do some runs in the officials on the fixed side and the open side. And the open side, man, I tell you what, them setups get a little bit loose going through that tunnel turn, the third corner and the first corner. If you're not too careful, trying to get back up to the throttle and get all the way up toward the outside wall.
That 100% correct there. You get very, very loose, and tire wear is going to be an issue here tonight. If you send it a little bit too hard too early, you will go back to the back pretty quickly. If we do get a green flag run, there's a high chance that we will get high green flag runs here, especially the way the track is. And just a quick one there, we've got John Hemingway in the chat. Evening, guys. Thought I'd check a truck race. Good evening to you, watching from New Zealand, a regular for our X series on Tuesday night. And Toy Cam, so it begins. Everyone's getting a bit excited for this truck race.
Yeah, especially with it being the tunnel turn there, it's a little bit more flatter. It's just like Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That's what that turn 2 is designed after. But looking at the CT Electrical's 2026 Season 1 schedule currently at Pocono Thursday, April 30th, 80 laps, the total distance, 20-lap stage increments. So stage caution will be called on lap 20, and then another 20-lap dash, and then a 40-lap dash to end tonight's race. Pit stops going to be plentiful all the way in and through each and every stage, so tires definitely going to be meaning a little bit more than what they need. It is the last race before the Chase happens, and you got Texas following right after, so that's definitely going to be something fun to carry over and look at. Looking at the series standings after Coda, and we have a tie between Riley Curtis and Kute Dow for the cutoff line. So Riley Curtis really needed this race to go his way. He's got to be able to finish ahead of Kute Dow, so hopefully not a lot of damage on that number 093 to get him back out there on the racetrack. Matt Danson, after a really good run last week at Coda, he's sitting 1 point behind. Chris Bleakley sitting 2. Blaine Densley is 9. Griffin Gardner's 18. By no means is, everybody from 13th possibly down to 18th is still kind of in the chase to get themselves up above that point standing, especially with only about 34 trucks out there here tonight. So definitely want to see what ends up happening towards the end of this race.
That's correct, and you also got to remember as well, Griffin Gardner isn't racing tonight, so you can rule him out of the equation. Matt Danson, Chris Bleakley, Blaine Densley, Kudo Dow, they're your 4. So guys, a lot of the likes of Riley Curtis, Jason Holdsworth, and Ryan Barber has got damage already. So his playoffs are not done at all. He just needs to work a little bit harder there to secure his he says in the chat that he's got unrepairable damage. So maybe a tough night ahead for Ryan Barber, but anything can happen in this race.
Yeah, absolutely is. Drivers getting ready to go back green. You see there the pace truck going around at turns number 3. Single file restart for tonight. Scott Rankin, Dave-O going to lead these drivers back to the green flag. Green, green, green. Back away we go down the long front straightaway. A little bit of looseness back there towards the back. Not sure what happened. Maybe a missed gear. But here we go. Fanning on out. Going to be 3 wide. Going into turns number 1 and 2. Keith Hackney stuck in the middle in that white Dodge Ram. Number 6, Nitro Racing Energy. He's going to be on the outside of Aaron Borg. Going to be able to get that pass made going into the tunnel turn here once again. Scott Rankin. He's got the best seat in the house. And clean air on that number 59. Currently sitting at P number 1 for Vortex Sim Sport. In first time under green flag conditions, we're going to see the flatness, the Milwaukee Mile turn of Pocono, and he's running a lane higher than Dave-O into the corners, but he's going to be getting a much better run off of the corners. In this, Nigel, down the front straightaway, I noticed this a lot going through the officials. everybody's going to start snaking down the front stretch, going all the way down by the inside wall and bringing it all the way back up to the front, kind of like what you would see in the IndyCar series at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
And that you're right there. And then Scott Rankin, this is one of his stronger tracks as well, so he'll be looking to capitalise and get a victory tonight. We'll also need to mention that just inside the top 10 at the moment is the 6 of Keith Hackney, out of retirement. He did retire 2 weeks ago. Back out of retirement. Let's see how long before he's back into retirement again here tonight at Pocono. And I think we've got Wesley with us.
Hey, guys, hope y'all are all doing well. Big good morning to y'all from America. Good evening to all you Aussies. And boy, we're ready to go here at Pocono. Last race, Dylan, before we determine that 6-race Chase series. And right now, Scott Rankin, who had a lot of bad luck at Talladega in the X series, now trying to redeem himself. And he's got the lead over Dave O as they'll sit it back at speed into turn number 1.
Yeah, he's looking pretty strong here early in the early going at Pocono. Dave O currently sitting P number 2. Your Tuesday night winner, Logan Keys, making his way up to the top 5. He's currently sitting 4th position on the racetrack, giving Kute Dow a push. So Kute Dow, remember, he's sitting 0 on the cut line. He's on the outside looking in. A good run from the number 55 machine here tonight is going to push himself all the way up towards the front. Jason Holdsworth also looking to have a good points night here tonight as well, as he's currently sitting outside of the top 10. And then Riley Curtis wants to hurry up, get his position out there on the racetrack to make sure that he can last and get up there towards the front. But 3 wide going down the front stretch, and we're going to be seeing 3 wide going into turn number 1.
And by the way, got to correct you there, my friend, Mr. Dillon, because I called him Keys as well until we finally got him for post-race, Nigel and I, and it's Kais. So Kais is his name. The E is an I, so Kais. But that's Fitzroy Beaumont. Watching him on the top side of the racetrack behind him. Big company there. Keep an eye on all this action going on as they work outside the top 10, heading that way down that Long Pond straightaway, if you will.
Yeah, heading down once again into turns number 3. Fitzroy Beaumont really up high, up against the outside wall. That's not going to be a big factor. A little bit of a bobble there by the number 21, Jordan. He's going to get swallowed whole. And here comes the 52, Angus Lawford, looking like he's going to take control of that bottom lane. Joshua Houghton down to the inside. He's going to make it 3 wide going into turn number 1 once again. Gary Wellman stuck in the middle with the 23 bouncing around on the outside.
How interesting is this racetrack right now? You know, this is very different than what we saw at Talladega, obviously, with the X Series finale for the regular season. Pocono is a 2.5-mile racetrack. It's the size of Indy. It's the size of Daytona. Talladega just a little bit bigger. It is a big track, but honestly, though, Dylan, you don't drive it like a super speedway. It's a very technical part of this racetrack here as they work again, coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Pocono is one of those tracks where you have to eye up your run, just like Indianapolis, to get the pass done. You can't just go down to the inside to think you're going to take away that position. You got to wait till a mistake or believe in somebody behind you giving you a push down to the inside or the outside to get your run on the opponent to either way that you're trying to make the pass. As we look here, Aaron Borg thought about making the pass down to the inside, not going to be able to have the run. He's got to bounce back in line. And here we go, the long snake all the way through the field. Everybody's single file through the tunnel turn. Once again, here we go, up under speed. One caution to start the race, but so far, everybody getting into their own rhythm and try to make it to the end of stage number 1 as we come to 10 laps to go before we start stage number 2.
Here they come, working to get off for that third turn. Eric Pocono coming down to the line. Look at them now, snaking their way. Right now in a formation of everybody, for the most part, single file. The conductor is Rankin, the caboose all the way in the back by himself is Curtis in 34th. All this going on now as they work their way again, coming off of turn number 1. It's Rankin in front.
Yeah, Rankin Like Nigel was saying earlier in the race, this is one of Scott Rankin's better tracks. He's looking to do well and perform very well. He wants to get that top three. He wants to get the race win to kind of shake up the points here in the last race of the regular season before we start the chase. Keith Hackney all over with Aaron Borg. Billy Mole giving a nice little shot to Aaron Borg in that number 43 machine. He's going to catapult himself up there towards the front. A little bit of looseness coming off towards number 3. Stays out of the outside wall. And everybody behind him, there you see it there. Project 36 towards the back, going to be side by side. He's going to be able to take that position, but a little bit of a crossover going into turns 1. But a big battle for the race lead as Dave O saw his shot, took it, and new race leader, the 311 of Dave Olgenzak.
Yeah, the man from South Carolina now powers his way. Dave Olgenzak to the lead. Now it's going to be Rankin. He'll get right up on the back of that draft to the tailgate of the leader. The 311, the 59. Kais, the Talladega X Series winner of the regular season on Tuesday. He tries to poke out a line. He's got company now from Dow on the inside.
Yeah, looking at to make a run towards the top of the leaderboard as Keith Hackney all the way down across the rubble strips. He's looking to take over that 4th position. Not going to be able to be there. He's going to cover off Kute Dow. Still going to be single file. But here comes Keith Hackney in that number 6, that Dodge Ram entry. A little bit of a gap between himself and Kais, but still got enough clean air on the front nose of that truck. As everybody going to be down in turns number 1 and 2, you can see Kai's way up high, trying to get the run. He's going to be able to get it. We were 2, 3 wide going through turns number 1 and 2, but everybody being able to get it all sorted out. Top 12 going to be single file, then towards the back, going to be double file all the way through the field.
All that's going on now as they work their way again. And I'll tell you what, we bring Nigel back in. He, of course, started with you at the start of this race right now. Nigel, a very calm start to this event. Not like the chaos we saw at Talladega right out of the gate here at the end of stage 1 also.
Everyone settled down. They realise there's a lot of points in the line here. And if you look at that top 10 at the moment and look where the points are, you've got Kute Dow. You've got, who else is just on the cut line there as well, just outside the Tom Frere's in the mix as well. Matt Danson's just on the cut line, and also Ben Faulkner as well. I think he's pretty safe into the chase at the moment, but all these guys just one extra stage points going into the last race of the year. It's going to be an interesting 7 laps to go.
Hey, Dylan, I got a little too excited, man, because as soon as I said everything was calm, cool, collected when Nigel tossed it, all of a sudden it got really shaky for a moment. Look at now, Dave Douglas trying to get around Wellman for Sinbor. All this going on now as they work here coming into turn number 2 and 3.
Yeah, everybody, you see it coming off of turns number 3 last lap. Jason Holdsworth getting a little bit loose. He got shuffled out of line, and look at the front runners everywhere. They just don't know where they want to be. They're going to be side by side, single file, throw a nail in the coffin. Everybody's going to be trying to fight for more positions. You got Josh Micklemore on the outside of Brad Newman with the 7 right in front. Brad Newman trying to stick his nose in there, gets a little bit loose. He's going to come back up. And here comes Jamie Davis. He's going to get a 2-for-1 special on that outside. And the outside here, Wes, at Pocono is definitely where you want to be. It's not kind of like Talladega or Daytona, where the inside, outside kind of prevail. It's predominantly outside is going to always prevail with the run. As you see there, Jamie Davis getting a nice little 2-for-1 coming off turns number 1.
Let's just play bluntly honest. That stack of traffic that we're watching now is positions 1 through 10. All of those drivers in some shape or form are looking for stage points. The more they advance, the more their stage points will be. If they're one of these drivers, Nigel, that are on the outside looking in, they need all the points they can get, because at the end of the night, it determines who's going to the chase next week.
100% it does, and there'll be more drivers want to be in the chase. If we can get a quick look at the graphic there one more time there of where the points are, we can have a quick look to see who's on the, and keep an eye on this throughout the races they come down. I think Ryan Barber's off to a bad start. Ben Faulkner, I think he's safe into the chase. Blaine Densley, is he out there tonight? I don't remember seeing him out there. So Kudo Tower, Matt Danson, Chris Bleakley. I think are the three that are all trying to look in at the moment. So Riley Curtis, Jason Holdsworth, and Ryan Barber, I think, are the three cars in trouble.
Yeah, those three are going to be the ones that we're going to have to keep an eye on, especially towards the dotted red line to keep in and keep out of the chase for the championship here tonight. As don't look now, but Keith Hackney has made his way to P number 2, looking down to the inside of Dave-O. Dave-O is going to shut the door on his Nitro Racing teammate. But look at the run that Keith Hackney got going down the long backstretch. They're going to be side by side going into the tunnel turn. Is Dave-O going to lift
Big
just a little
crash,
bit early
big
to
crash.
get
20 got
going?
trouble, guys.
We got another
boy.
caution out here on the racetrack. Jason Holdsworth involved, the 23, as we get ready to pull up a replay brought to you by CT Electrical. It's so exciting. As Trey Lavelle is going to make his way around this wreck as well. Beautiful looking truck. As he was able to do it, and such a bad night going wrong for Jason Holdsworth. And this is that one track, Nigel and Wes, where he really needed to showcase what he could do to make it into the chase, and that's definitely not how you want to start it.
Troy Davidson, the other truck that's involved in that accident, the red and black number 23, scrapes off the safer barrier, the Simbor entry, head on to the inside, Armco safer barrier, slam in there, unison goes Holdsworth, Nigel. Nowhere to go for any of those those two different trucks for two different teams. And I'm so glad that there wasn't anybody else around, because that could have been a lot more worse. There's only a 2-truck accident here. I watched the replay one more time, and I'm wondering if maybe the panic happened for Davidson and Holdsworth because they thought the 136 was going to get in the wall there of David Lawler.
It looked
I thought maybe...
Go ahead, you go. No, I was just going to say, it looked like the 23 just smacked the wall and came down and took the 8 of Holdsworth out. There was also... Yeah, there's also on my timing thing, guys, and then I'll cross back to you guys. There was Kute Dow and Aaron Borg at one stage must have got into each other as well.
Watch these trucks on the inside right here, guys. And like I said, I'm wondering, and I do see what Nigel's saying about the 23 bouncing off the wall, obviously, and nowhere to go. Dylan for the number 8 of Holdsworth or Davidson. But I'm wondering if the trucks there, the 136 and the 080, if that was what made maybe the 10 of Dave Douglas, and then, of course, the 23 checkup. Watch this one more time right about here. Keep an eye on these two trucks right there. You see this? And then there's Lawler, and then I think Douglas kind of panicked or motioned to move up high, and when he did, I think that might have startled Davidson into Holdsworth, and that caused the accident. We got a lot of activity on pit road, Nigel. They're down to you. Pit stops presented by CT Electrical.
Yeah, another thing to kind of bounce back on there, you've seen how Dave Douglas went from the bottom up to the top. These trucks, Wes, are super, super dependent on aero, and with Dave Douglas kind of going from the top to the bottom, or bottom to the top, that could have played a big factor with the air playing on the front nose of the number 23 that kind of got him a little bit aero tight, pushing up into the outside wall, and Jason Holdsworth just kind of being at the wrong place, wrong time, going side by side throughout the first corner.
Hey, real quickly, we were talking about the point standings. Nigel was kind of hitting on the 12 drivers that are trying to punch their ticket in for the Australian NASCAR Truck Series presented by or powered by CT Electrical. There they are. And obviously, if you're a guy now like, Blaine Dinsley, who's not present, I don't see his name on the roster of the 35 trucks. He's pretty much eliminated himself. But we were showing you the point standings. Now let's see the racetracks. Here's a look at the track that'll be coming up beginning next week. And look at this. 6 weeks starts next Thursday night, if you will. And Dylan, in 6 weeks' time, 12 drivers. Yeah, there's going to be races. Yeah, there's going to be stories. Yeah, there's going to be annals of great pages of history for Australian NASCAR. But the bottom line is this. For 12 drivers, those dozen names, we're going to follow for 6 weeks to determine at Michigan in the middle of June, right before summer, who's going to lock up the championship.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be something fun to watch. I mean, and Wes, I mean, you're going to throw in a road course in the wrench of the chase here this season. Then right after you go to the Milwaukee, or not the Milwaukee Mile, you go to the Monster Mile with Dover, and then you got Charlotte, then Nashville. There's going to be another fun one, and then Michigan to end it off. Oh, you just couldn't plan a better chase to end the season one for the trucks here tonight. So a lot of good tracks coming up in the next 6 weeks of racing. I'm really excited to see these trucks at Watkins Glen. You don't really get to see the trucks go to Watkins Glen a lot. So seeing these trucks go up the hill and through the S's and hitting the bus stop and getting the penultimate corner and all that's definitely going to be a lot of fun. A little bit different than what we've seen at Coda and Long Beach and all that. So going to a race course that a lot of these drivers know, Keith Hackney, Dave O at Watkins Glen, is definitely going to be a fun one to watch. We're going to see a lot of the road course ringers kind of be caught off guard, you could possibly say, as a lot of these drivers should know how to get around Watkins Glen with their eyes closed.
By the way, we move our way now into stage number 2, 20 of 80 laps. So that stage finished up. Dave O's going to win stage number 1, or whoever was leading before the accident took place. That's the way they'll lock them in there, because this will send us now into stage number 2 as here comes the field working back down to the line. Green flag in the air. Actually, yep. Oh, my goodness. Wow, my apologies, everybody. They just called the stage right here. I'm so sorry. They just literally took the green and completed lap 20, and then they went ahead and threw the caution again. So Dave O is going to win your stage 1. All he had to do was go down the straightaway, take the green, take the yellow, and he is your stage 1 winner.
Yeah, Dave O sat behind a Scott Rankin for the majority of that stage. Stage 1 is going to look like Dave O getting the stage win. Keith Hackney making himself up to P number 2. Good stage points for both of those drivers. Aaron Borg in 3rd, Scott Rankin finishing 4th. Micklemore in 5th. In 6th is going to be Jamie Davis. 7th is going to be Brad Newman. Kute Dow in 8th. 9th is going to be Angus Lawford. And rounding out your top 10, one of the newer drivers for this series. Have not seen Billy Mole out here in that number 7 machine getting a stage point in stage number 1. So top 10 didn't really get a lot of movement in it, but stage 2, Wes, we seen an early caution in stage number 1 going through the tunnel turn with Ryan Barber, Brad Newman, Fitzroy Beaumont going at 3 or 4 wide in a tunnel turn, causing Jeffrey Sinclair and Riley Curtis to be involved. So those 3 trucks getting involved in the first accident of the night, and then that secondary one with Jason Holdsworth and Troy Davidson bringing out our second caution.
Nigel, what's your take of the first 20 laps of the stage, man? Obviously, we've had some thrills and some green flag racing, couple of cautions, but for the most part, pretty exciting start to the first 50 miles of this one.
It's a slow start to this one, Wesley. I think once these cars come back down pit road for the second start of the 3rd and final stage, these cars will have a brand new set of tyres on it. You're going to see some massive pit stop adjustments, and I think you're going to see a great green flag run to the end. Ryan Barber unfortunately damaged to his car on the bubble of the chase. We've also got Jason Holdsworth as well, just on the bubble there of the chase, as we about to go green once again.
Yeah, getting everybody caught up.
This should be a quick caution, Dylan. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to talk on top of you, but I think this is going to be a quick caution. I mean, we had everybody already lined up, ready to go, right? And then they took the green right at the end of the stage, and then we went back to yellow. So I would think that, I know they're going to give everybody a chance to go to pits if they choose to, and some are. But for the most part, we should be looking at the green next time by.
Oh, absolutely. And looking at it now, it looks like the people that are going into pit lane at this time by are mostly drivers that have maybe made contact with the outside wall, got a little bit of right rear, right front damage on those trucks just from battling aero tightness. As Barney's got that yellow flag up in the air, high and wide and handsome, just trying to get these drivers back down to caution speeds. But we talk about how thrilling this racetrack can be. You got three different turns: the Trenton turn, which is turn number 1 and 2, or turns number 1; the Tuttle turn, which is named after Indy; and then you got the flattest part of the corner, which is going to be turns number 3, because there is no turn 4. That's going to be based off of Milwaukee Mile. So, three different turns going into tonight's race here at Pocono. You're going to see the inside be the majority of the way to go around, but the outside is where you want to be to get that massive run coming off of the corners and getting passes done here. You got to set them up. You got to set them up a lap before you make the pass to get around drivers. But single file restart here for stage number 2. Davo going to lead us back to the green flag. Keith Hackney in second. And there they go, the long conga line, trying to get through the gears, already fanning out 2-3 wide towards the back, but it's Keith Hackney and Dave-O leading us back to the green flag down in turn number 1. Once again, Aaron Borg trying to make a move on Keith Hackney, not going to be able to get there. He's going to settle for P number 3.
Now, the smart thing to do is probably take yourself into another 20 laps before you end stage number 2. Take ready for that 40-lap shootout right now. Stage 2, another 21. Here we go. It's, of course, not really a lot of racing so far as quickly as they went to the end of stage 1. Caution came out. Now these drivers going to get a chance to get inside, looking to see what these other guys are doing. There's like Scott Rankin. Remember, at one time, up in the front, fell back now. He's in 5th. All these drivers in line as they work their way again off turn 3.
Yeah, Micklemore making that pass on Scott Rankin. He's going to take over the 4th position. He's going to sight his sets on the 43 of Aaron Borg. He's running a little bit higher than the number 43, giving a little bit of a room to that number 43 so he doesn't end up getting tight coming out of the corner. He's going to be right up on the back bumper of the 43 of Aaron Borg going into the tunnel turn. He's going to lift just a little bit in west with the tunnel turn. All you got to do is crack the throttle just a little bit. Get those left side tires on that yellow line like you seen Aaron Borg do there, and you're throttling right back into it, getting it where you need to be. And still, Aaron Borg running higher, going to get down to that yellow line, but it's not going to be enough. Maybe Josh can get the run coming off of turns number 3, but this is where it's going to be a little bit difficult. You got to eye up the run like I was talking about. If you don't have anybody going with you down on that inside, that outside lane is definitely going to freight train you. It's kind of like Martinsville. You get stuck on that outside, you're going to get freight trained down on the inside.
Working their way again off of that first turn. Here they come now, back down the Long Pond straightaway. Truck's getting a little wiggly there for just a moment. For the most part, everyone trying to follow formation, obviously. Nigel, I bring you back in. I mean, if you're one of these guys on the outside looking in that we were talking about at the end of stage 1, this is not the time to panic yet. I think the smart thing to do, am I right, is just kind of stay in line, get into the end of stage 2, and then that last 40 laps, longest stage of the race, that is when you start to really push your truck to try to win or get as much up in the front as you can to try to get the points you need to advance in the chase. And Nigel has stepped away, I believe, for a few minutes as well. But Dylan, I'll ask you, I throw that same question out to you, buddy, honestly.
Yeah, it's always not about where you start, right? It's always about where you finish. But with Pocono being as long as it is and as wide of a track that it is, you can get the 3-4 wide racing when it's doable, but you got the sharp little kind of congested areas of the racetrack in turns number 2, the tunnel turn. Turns 1 and 3 you can go 3-4 wide, but tunnel turn you kind of want to be single file to double file line racing. But it's all about track position and keeping your car as clean as you possibly can, as a little bit of 3 wide maybe going on with Brad Newman, Jamie Davis, and Scott Rankin. But, to go back to your question there, Wes, it's not about where you start. It's always about where you finish. But track position is definitely going to be key, especially for the ones that are kind of in the back, just lollygagging. They need the stage points. They need to be up there towards the front, battling for those extra points that they can earn on the table. But it's definitely going to come down to who can run a cleaner, better race, get their truck into position to make their way towards the front and keep their truck out of dirty air as best as they possibly can and out of trouble.
Dave Olgenzak continuing to stay in the top spot. Keith Hackney, a couple of U.S. drivers from South Carolina and Georgia in P1 and 2. There's, of course, Adam Borgen. We got trouble. Caution, trouble. You saw a little glimpse of a truck spinning off the pace. Billy Mole in the 7. He lost it in front of the racing pack. He drifted down to the inside of the bottom of the apron, saves the truck off the wall, but it does trigger another yellow flag. 4th caution of the race as we're heading to lap number 30 next time by in this one.
Yeah, you've seen it just before that caution came out. Matt Danson got a little bit loose. I believe he might have gotten a little bit of a shot from Jamie Davis. As you see there right in front of him. Oh, got a little bit arrow loose. And then right behind him, looks like Ben Faulkner got into the rear end of the 7. Going to send him around. Ben Faulkner going to go outside into the outside wall. He's going to tank slap it as we get another aerial view here. Going to see exactly what happened. So Ben Faulkner got on the inside. Then he got the 7. Oh, just slid up just a little bit too much. Thought maybe the 7 was going to go up to the outside wall, but he didn't. A little bit of miscommunication between the two drivers. I wouldn't put that at fault for anybody. There's just a little bit of miscommunication on both drivers' faults, but was able to keep it off the outside wall, inside wall, and keep that number 7 going. The biggest loser in that was Ben Faulkner tank slapping the outside wall with that right side of his truck.
Just recap right now down below at the bottom right. You see it, 4 cautions for 9 laps. Of course, another on-track accident as one for the end of the stage. So we had 2 yellow flags, actually, if you think about it, at the end of stage number 1. Caution, of course, right whenever we got back for a restart to end the stage. And then another accident here just a moment ago. 3 for accidents, 1 for the stage. And Dave Olgenzak right now continuing to be the man as Lawler's onto the pit lane. Some more drivers coming in for surface. There goes Brad Wright. Handful of trucks here coming in for surface right now, Dylan.
Yeah, a lot of, I wonder if this is kind of a strategic move on their part. I don't believe they're going to take tires. I believe this stop could just be for fuel, so that way they can not worry about going in at the stage break, get the track position. They know in the back of their minds there could be more cautions that could work out in their favor for stage number 3. But there's always that chance that they go green, right? You go green the whole stage 3, and now you're behind the bullet. We kind of seen it Tuesday night in the X Series, and we've seen it in the NASCAR qualifying for the Coke Series. A lot can happen. A lot of drivers try to play the pit strategies, and it became a fuel mileage race at Texas this week on Tuesday night for the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series. So it can be a fuel mileage race. If it turns into a fuel mileage race, the drivers at pit here on lap 30 of 80 are going to be in good shape, but it's all going to come down to how good they can save tires, because tire is definitely going to be one of the main factors in tonight's race.
So look again at those 12 drivers again, as right now we see. I got to think of something also as I look at this 12 drivers right now that are in the chase. How about nitro racing, if you will? They're going to be really strong. I got to wonder also, Dylan, if we're going to see team racing like nitro. Look at it, Dave O, Keith Hackney, Josh Mickelmore, right? Holdsworth, Curtis. They are the 12 drivers right now that are locked in, and as long as nothing changes for that matter, you can see the most entries of the 12 in the Chase be teammates from Nitro Racing. That could be crucial to determine the championship.
And then right on the right on the cut line in 13th is going to be Kute Dow. I know he's a Nitro Racing. I know Kute is running the Nitro Racing setup, so there's a potential another Nitro driver going into the top 12. You know, obviously you'll want as many teammates as you can, but when it comes down to the chase and getting the championship, you want to battle people that are going to make you race your race the way that you want to have it ran. And that's definitely, I think, what a lot of people are going to be looking at is who do I want in the top 12 to challenge me for the championship as we get a look off the back bumper of a Dave O. He's going to be down on the inside. And not to mention, you know, top 3 as it sits right now is going to be all Nitros. Or top 4 is going to be nothing but Nitro Racing. And then you got Vortex in that number 43. So, you know, this is where Dave O, Keith Hackney kind of stride. They've run a lot together in the official side of things. Same with Josh Mickelmore. Saw him out practicing, doing some official races. As Dave O. Wait, whoa. That is
Crazy way to come back from green, boy. Everybody dove for the apron. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a weird restart.
By the way, Shea Van Gisbergen, and one of those guys that obviously multiple faceted as a V8 Supercar champion before running NASCAR Trackhouse, a 5-time winner of the Cup Series, dominator of the road courses of NASCAR last year. He runs with us. He's already got 2 wins this season in the NASCAR Australian NASCAR X Series. They run on Tuesday night, and he plans to run. I look forward to seeing what he does at Watkins Glen. What a talent on the road course. Could we possibly get him to pop in maybe on a Thursday night? Run the truck at the Glen. Don't know if he'll do it or not, but I know he'll be there on Tuesday. We've enjoyed having SVG and Brody Kostecki when he's popped in as well. They both won races this year. So right now, Keith Hackney trying to run down Dave-O for the lead as they work their way again down the back straightaway. And while this goes on, look at Brad Newman, Aaron Borg, Josh Mickelmore. We're all single file. They come off the Long Pond straightaway.
Yeah, Brad Newman, one of the biggest movers of tonight's race. He's making his way up to P number 3. They're all single file. As the biggest movers is going to be Gary Wellman, 12 positions that is gained, and then Joshua Houghton with 12 positions made, as well as Dave-O and Keith Hackney both going at it for the race lead. They're going to be side by side now. Brad Newman going to be able to take over P number 2, going to be looking for more into turns 1. Dave-O going to cut that nose off for the number 1. He's going to be right up on the back bumper, and this is where it can get dicey. Both tightness and looseness between the 311 and the 1. Going to be battling going into the tunnel turn side by side. Keith Hackney, who do you go with? He's going to go with the 1. He's going to give him a little bit of shunt going into the tunnel turn side by side. Oh, Keith Hackney, a little bit tight. He had to get out of the throttle. He's going to lose a position to Aaron Borg. And here comes Matt Danson through the middle, 3 wide, going into turn number 3.
And look at now Matt Danson really sideways as wow boy Newman to the lead, about bounced off the safer barrier as he weaseled his way off of that third turn. Somehow keeps from pancaking the passenger side of the number 1 for Lobs. Dave-O to the lead now, or the second, trying to get the lead back from Newman as they work again in 2.
Yeah, the Lobs Esports driver of Brad Newman taking over the race lead, doing what Brad does best. Matt Dancy Dance doing his dance back there in P number 6, trying to take over P number 5. But here we go. The battle for the race lead is going to be all for nothing with Brad Newman taking over the race lead. Could this be the breakthrough win that Brad Newman needs? He has been unvictorious this season so far. Same with Matt Danson, both drivers with double-digit race wins of the Truck Series. A little bit of a cross-win between Scott Rankin and Matt Danson. Going to be single file once again. Then right behind the two race leaders, you got double file with Aaron Borg on the outside, Keith Hackney on the inside. A little bit of a door check there. Down to the inside, Keith Hackney going to be able to take over P number 3 once again. Remember, dance.
Nigel Sadale back with us again. Nigel, I asked you a question and I didn't realize you had popped out of the box, mate. Welcome back. But what's your take of the first 35 laps of this one here at Pocono, the final race of the regular season?
Well, it's going to start to heat up, as we can see. We're 2 to 3 wide, and the guys at the front are putting on a show for everyone at home. Looking so far is as if he drives just outside of that top 15 at the moment. Kude Tao, he's up into 12th. He's just on the bubble there at the moment. He's going to try to work his way in, and we also got Ryan Barber's just outside the top 20 at the moment. Those are the cars. Oh,
Yellow
trouble!
flag is out.
Oh, no.
Hackney
Oh,
has
no.
crashed. He collected Scott Rankin, guys. We got trouble. Actually, it's Adam Borg. Correction, it's Aaron Borg. Aaron Borg is caught up in this. He's a teammate to Rankin. Those trucks look exactly the same, but there's something about red and white crashing here at Pocono there, Dylan. Yellow flag number 5.
Yeah, you're going to see it here. Keith Hackney going to dive down to the inside. And I don't think Dave O expected him to be all the way down there. You see there a little bit of a hip check between both of those drivers. Aaron Borg nowhere to go. Aaron Borg ultimately saved Keith Hackney from hitting that wall head on. But some memorabilia for everybody out there in the chat watching. You're going to be able to get a cool little quarter panel off that number 43 for a low payment of $5. Down in the pit lane, it's going to be autographed by Aaron Borg as we get another look at the race wreck. You see that Aaron Borg airborne after the contact with Keith Hackney. Keith Hackney getting a little bit of some damage on that number 6 machine, just getting punted away down in turn number 1, and there it is. I don't think Dave O expected him to be there that quickly. As, like you said, Wes, a lot of red and white fighting to get these positions, and they both ended up in the outside wall.
That replay presented by CT Electrical. Anybody coming down pit road, guys? What do you think? I mean,
I think with it being 2 laps left in the stage, I don't see him
yeah, I don't. Yeah,
going
I don't
in. Now, let's ask you this, Wes. You had Aaron Borg, who's sitting pretty well in the points, and you had Keith Hackney sitting that well in the points. If you were Keith Hackney or Aaron Borg, would you have put yourself in that position to try to go for a stage win, or are you just kind of trying to make your way through the end of stage 2?
Let me just say this, and Nigel, you're a racer as well, and I'll just throw it out there. They might be comfortably in a spot where they know they can go into the chase, but they're racers. They want to win. And if they feel like they got a shot that they want to try to go to the front and win this thing, and look at this, my God, they're coming down pit road, Dylan. Wow, I didn't think that they would do this, but they're all coming down pit road.
I think they've called the stage.
Well, you know, Nigel, it started stage 2. Yeah, the start of stage 2, as soon as it started the green flag, we went right back under the yellow flag. So,
Right. Unless that was a hiccup, if that was an accident, I don't know. But I mean, so my question is this: so okay, so guys, here's the deal. They're coming off of pit road now. We're working lap number 38 of 40. No, this is lap 39 that they're trying to complete, but they're on lap number 38. So with that being said, if they come back around, they take the green, we might see a sequence again, guys, where they're going to get the green at lap number 40, where they're going to take the green and then the caution.
And that could work out absolutely perfect for Braden Chooch Griffiths to get
Yes.
another stage win.
Fun. Ladies and gentlemen, this, I don't want to say that the history or lightning strikes twice, but it looks like it's really going to happen here. Unbelievable.
You love to see Braden Chooch Griffiths up there towards the front, and hopefully he's able to get that stage win. He's had a kind of a rocky season altogether. He's had shown paces of really good, strong runs, and he's also had those races, Wes, where, he gets caught up in wrecks throughout the entirety of the race. There's a lot of drivers out there that just can't miss the wrecks that just happen, and they're just in the vicinity of them. Trent Lavelle is one of them. Go ahead and knock on wood, Dylan, because you just jinxed it. But, you try to race as clean as you possibly can and not be involved in anything. And then the moment you feel like you're finally free and can put up a really good run, that's when everything kind of goes snowball effect, and you get caught up in other people's mess.
The mess. All right, let's see what happens. Guys, I'm telling you, that's exactly what we're going to see. They're literally going to do exactly what happened on lap number 20 at the end of the first stage. They are literally going to come off of the pit. The pace truck's going to come down pit road, and when they do, all Brandon Griffiths for Project 36 has to do is gas it, cross the line. He's the first truck to jump because he's the leader. He sets the pace. They come to the line, the caution's coming out. And that's stage 2. And then we have another 100 miles. That'll be determining that final stage. That'll be, of course, the 40-lap stage at the end of this race here. That's 200 miles, 80 laps, which is, by the way, Dylan, the same distance of what ARCA used to run back in the day when the trucks, like the trucks tonight, but what ARCA used to run back in the day when the ARCA series ran at Pocono.
Well, that's always good to see is, ARCA making their races a little bit longer here as of right now, but going to be double foul. Going to see if these drivers get the green flag and then immediately get the yellow flag. Chooch Griffith is going to be the starter of tonight's race. He's going to be in P number 1. Green flag in the air, no yellow flag is being brought out as Chooch Griffith's going to lead us out down in turns number 1 and 2, but he's got a pack of hungry racers. Everybody on fresh equipment, fresh tires, full of fuel. Davo to the outside of Brad Newman. He's going to keep these two side by side as long as he can, and here goes Davo down on the inside to make it side by side battle going into the tunnel turn.
And the only thing that I can think of is now this time the race directors, race control, literally said, no, we're not going to throw a yellow. We're not. Nope. There it is. Caution's out, and it's because it's the end of the stage. No, we got a problem, guys. Adam Gray has crashed. Adam Gray has crashed on lap 41. Problems in turn number 2 on to turn 3. It's Adam Gray that crashed. So listen. The stage is going to go at lap number 40 to Griffith. He's going to win the stage. And now we got an accident here. So there's an accident on the racetrack. The driver in 31st position. He's now catching the back of the pack. Adam Gray crashing. Here is a look at a replay of what happened to him. Adam Gray, David Lawler. There they go. Nice save, Lawler.
Yeah, you see there just a little bit of a move. Oh, let's see here. Couple truck lengths back, and this is where it got congested. 3 wide into the tunnel turn. David Lawler didn't expect him to check up that much. Going into the tunnel turn, Adam Gray going to back it into the outside fence. Lawler going to be able to keep it relatively straight, do a little bit of a drift, kind of like what we see throughout the other series. He's going to be able to keep that truck straight, but a lot of heavy damage on the back bumper of the number 57. Actually, Dean, if you could get a nice little message on that number 57 spoiler of Adam Gray on the back side of the spoiler.
Vegemite.
He said there was a funny message. Vegemite stops Ram. I was actually racing with Adam Gray.
It's a promo. Nothing stops Ram. Well, Vegemite might. So, sorry, Dylan.
Yeah, so funny story is, I met up with Adam Gray in an official race, and I was like, "Oh, Adam, hey, how's it going?" And he goes, "Oh, well, maybe you should look at the tailgate and let me know what you think." So I figured I'd let Dean know to make sure you look at it so we can see it on stream here tonight. It's nice to see all these drivers out there in the official series. They don't really get to see myself out there in the official side getting some laps in with them, so I can get a little bit of a taste of what these drivers go through on the league side of things. And I was able to do a couple of the races out at Pocono, and tell you what, that nitro setup that I was running with was a little bit loose for my liking, but it's pretty quick once you get the adjustments put in there and you're able to get some green flag runs. He's down there eating ice cream. So, looking at the standings, you got Riley Curtis and Jason Holdsworth back in the pit lane. Jason Holdsworth with heavy, heavy damage, possibly with a very severely hurt engine. He might look on the outside, looking in. Kute Dow having a fantastic run. Matt Danson having one too. Chris Bleakley, I don't think he is in the race. I haven't seen Chris Bleakley at all, but so actually Chris Bleakley is in the race. He's currently 29th on the standings in the actual race, but looking up here, Kute, Matt Danson, and Chris Bleakley, all three drivers currently could possibly in the inside, and that's going to move possibly Ryan Barber, Jason Holdsworth, and Riley Curtis outside of the top 12 West to go into our final race. So a lot of points shaking up to end the regular season.
And as I mentioned, Team 8s for Nitro, could they stay in advance? Obviously, we're going to keep an eye on Holdsworth and Curtis right now because they've had some problems earlier in the race. But this race for the Chase, could we see team racing to set the stage for who could be able to hoist the championship? And remember, Dylan, this is not the end. As you see where it says season 1. The Australian NASCAR series, they come back after, July or before July. They take off for a couple of weeks and then they reset and they come back in July, mid-July, and then they have another season 2. So, as soon as they finish this one, they go right back to action again. And then remember, that's going to determine who's going to be the best drivers of the Australian NASCAR X and Truck Series that will race in the Australian NASCAR Championships, the ANC now, which used to be on Sunday night bi-weekly, Dylan. Not anymore. Now it's going to be a 12-race, 6-week Tuesday, Thursday series. We'll be calling it. And at the end of these 6 weeks, 12 races, driving cup cars, might I add, will determine who will be the best of the best in the All-Star Chase, if you will.
Ooh, getting into the cup car. That's going to throw everybody for a loop. We don't run the cup cars often, so being able to see the cup cars in the league as season 2 comes up, that's definitely going to be something to watch. With the Cup cars, they handle completely different than the Xfinity car and the truck. So oh man, I can't wait for that one. That's actually going to be really fun. You're going to be able to see what these drivers can do inside of a Cup car instead of a truck and an Xfinity car. And how about Brandon Chooch Griffiths holding off Dave-O and Brad Newman into turns number 1 once again. Hard to the outside wall. Kute now going to be 3 wide, 3, 4, 5 wide going down the long pond straightaway. Everybody going to try to figure it out going into the tunnel turn. Are they going to be able to? Top 12 going to be single file. Now we're going to be down to double file throughout the rest of the field. Dave Douglas getting a little bit loose, but now 3 wide once again. And here goes the battle for the race lead. Dave-O down the inside, trying to take over the race lead from Chooch. He's going to be able to get it done. He's not going to be able to get clear. Yes, he is. And here we go. The battle for the win starts now. 35 laps to go here at Pocono.
In lap number 45 of 80. 35 remaining now. This is the third and final stage. If you have got something to show, I'll be honest with you, Nigel, you better show it now, man. You better unveil it, because this is that stage of your life virtually if you want to move into the Australian NASCAR postseason. The chase starts next Thursday night for the trucks.
That's right, and there's still one more pit stop to be had here as well, so I reckon they'll be coming down in about lap 60.
Oh, and could we see green flag pit stops also? That could be a strategy, Dylan, that we haven't seen, is also green flag pit stops, which could really, well, not like that, we're not. Oh, caution, I told you. Oh, no, and they're still crashing behind them.
It looks like Sunday night's Cup Series race at Talladega. Only 4 drivers made it through.
Andy Barber, Angus Lawford, worse for wear. There's Angus Lawford all tore up. 2-time winner this year, Bristol winner. Angus Lawford, badly damaged. Man, is it just me, Dylan, or has there been a resurgence of Project 36 really showing their strengths here down the stretch?
Yeah, you know, it's been really fun to watch the Project 36 drivers come together, put some good races on. You got your couple that can't stay out of the wrecks. It's not by their faults by any means. It's just wrong place, wrong time. But this is the first time I've really seen, this is the first time I've really seen Angus Lawford get into any type of trouble there. The 992 of Giuseppe Maiolo getting involved. It looked like, that is Ryan or Andy Barber in the 194 getting involved too. He's going to shoot down to the inside. If we're going to look at the chopper view from CT Electrical, he's going to get right rear hooked to the outside wall. That's going to end his race. One of the 36 is going to be, or 136 is going to be involved. So David Lawler. And then just look at everybody. Oh, look at Trent Lavelle. He got through it. Trent, you're my buddy. Oh, the CT Electrical man. Able to get through that wreck. Precision driving, my friend. As we get another look at it. Oh, man. Memorabilia, if you guys wanted it. Down in the pit stall, $52. Since it is off of Angus Lawford, $52 will get you a autographed memorabilia piece from the number 52 of Angus Lawford. But man, oh man, you've seen it there, Wes, the black smoke coming off the number 52. I believe Angus Lawford's night might be done.
Yeah, and that's frustrating too, right? Man, look at this. Like, nowhere to go for those guys. And caution now here at lap number 46, just after halfway. So another yellow flag. We got some guys coming down to the pit lane. Trent Lavelle. I don't see Trent Lavelle even on my scoring monitor. Thanks again to CT Electrical again for sponsoring this race. But usually Trent Lavelle is in the race, but I don't see him tonight. He's not here.
I think that might be the car of the 777 of Kelvin Clark.
Yeah, Trent Lavelle's not here tonight, guys. He's not on the scoring pylon. Yeah. But we do want to say thank you to CT Electrical of Bathurst for sponsoring the series. But he's not here. Normally his truck's here. I know he ran Talladega in the X Series race on Tuesday night. But here's the Kelvin Clark truck. There's his truck, but it's not Trent Lavelle. It's Kelvin Clark. But there you go. Woo! That's a way of doing it. There's a way of doing it.
No, there's another CT Electrical truck out there. Okay. Yeah,
I think that might be the other car. Might be the Chris Bleakley car as well. That's got the CT Electrical on it.
Trent Lavelle is not on the list racing tonight, guys. I'm just telling you that. There might be other CT Electrical trucks, but he's not here. So he's only in the 67. So. But thanks again, Trent, for what he does sponsoring the series. And there's a race recap as we are closing in, Dylan, on 30 to go. Brad Newman up in front.
Yeah, Brad Newman's taking over the race lead. You got Josh Micklemore there in a second position. You got Matt Dance. He done a lot of dancing here tonight in the truck. And then you got Scott Rankin making himself up there in the top 4-5 once again. Running out your top 5 is going to be Joshua Houghton. But the biggest storyline tonight, Wes, is, we've seen our multiple winners, Dave O and Keith Hackney, and, we got some first-time winners this season of Angus Lawford, and then, obviously, Griffin Gardner getting the race win at Long Beach. Can we see another first-time winner this season other than Dave O and Keith Hackney? 16 wins altogether in the Truck Series for Brad Newman. I believe 9 or 10 for Matt Danson. But this could be a huge breakout win for both the 1, the 30, and the 31 to capitalize on some points that are really up there for grabs to get into the chase starting next week.
Yeah, Brad Newman has not won a race this year, right? Where he's third in the points, you see that, but Brad Newman's done it by being consistent in the 8 races he's ran, or 9 races, 8 that's counted. He's had no wins. He has had, of course, 5 podiums. Let me emphasize on that. So 5 times he's been in the top 3, but not a winner. 6 top 5, 7 top 10s. So could Brad Newman finally solidify himself, per se? I think he's going to the chase. He's going to get in by points, but can he solidify himself with a win on the Thursday series as we go back to green here, Dylan?
Yeah, went back to green and immediately Keith Hackney shoving it 3 wide with Joshua Houghton on the outside, or Fitzroy Beaumont on the outside, and then stuck in the middle was, I believe, another driver. But we're going to have another big wreck. Jordan Martin, Kelvin Clark, and then I seen Chris Bleakley in the number 22 getting involved as well. Believe that is Logan Kais. He's going to be involved. He was having such a strong run in that number 343. He's going to be caught up in it, and it's another product of the big trouble in that tunnel turn there, Wes.
Problems there again. Let's watch a replay presented by CT Electrical, and we'll see what happens. This is coming off of the Long Pond straightaway, going into that tunnel turn here at Pocono, and there's the contact. Nowhere to go for a couple of those trucks, and hard impact for them into the wall for the 43, the 22, the 777 of Clark. Just innocent bystanders there after what happened with those entries. And again, then when it's all said and done with 30 to go, Logan Kais, remember, Logan Kais, Talladega winner in the X Series. This is Kelvin Clark, Bleakley, all involved. Yeah, what a tough break, man. There you see.
How about Mr. Kute Dow somehow managing to keep it straight as he was right in the middle of all of that chaos? He was able to keep it straight. There you go. Keep an eye on Chris, well, yeah, looking at Chris Bleakley. Yeah, there it is right there. Somehow, Kute Dal able to get around all that mayhem going in and through. You want to talk about having luck on your side. This is where it's going to be as we get ready to ride on board with Kute Dal. You see the 3 wide in front of him. It happens right there. He gets in the back bumper of Tom Freer, gets into it again. He's able to keep it contained for the most part and able to drive on through all the way in and through. He went to bussies. So definitely an oh crap moment for Kute Dal. Make sure you want to check your pants. As you see there, I mean, just with everybody else close as they are, I mean, you can't see anything off the front bumper. He's going to get tagged, and then everybody else behind him is going to get tagged. I believe that is Riley Curtis in that silver machine. No, that's Jefferson Clare in the 40, going to be hard to the outside wall as well. So a lot of drivers involved that aren't really running for the points, but there's other drivers that are running for the points that needed to have a good race here at Pocono to make them into the chase.
Pit stops. Nigel, back down to you. They're presented by CT Electrical. What you watching, buddy?
Plenty of taking on fuel at the moment. Some taking their last set of tyres as well, with only just on 28 laps to go. A risky move, I think, trying to take tyres just now. If it was me, I'd be putting a bit of fuel in that car and leaving a set of tyres for that green-white checker at the end.
Well,
remember,
you know,
Dylan, do we throw the idea of green flag pit stops out the window now? If they can come down to the pit lane here now, can they stretch it to go to the finish of the race here?
I mean, 28 laps. I don't see an issue making it 28 laps. They're going to be probably 26 laps to go before we get back to green flag racing. So if they can stretch that field 28 laps, 26 laps, somewhere around there, they should be able to go the full rest of the distance. It's all just about saving your fuel as best as you possibly can. But if we do get, maybe I could see if we get another caution with maybe 10 laps to go, I could see everybody else that did not pit go down into pit lane, use their last set of tires, get some more fuel in it just for the green-white checkers here tonight, and then to see exactly what is going to happen all throughout the race. You know, you've seen it all race long. You've seen the intensity going into the tunnel turn, the turns 3, turn 1, the drafting going down the front stretch and the long pong straightaway. It's going to look like Tuesday night's Talladega race all over again with those final 10 laps here at Pocono.
Let's set up our top 10 as we get ready to go back for a restart. Lights are off on the pace truck. We'll be coming down to the green. Kute Dal is up in front. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I need to update my time and it scored. My apologies. The leader is Brad Newman. Brad Newman Chevrolet up in front. He leads the way. Josh Bicklemore for Nitro in second. Couple of Chevrolets on the front row. Toyota Scott Rankin trying to redeem himself from bad luck at Talladega. Of course, the man there sitting in the number 3 spot for Vortex. To the outside, Matt Danson, the defending ANC champion of last year. Joshua Houghton, Fitzroy Beaumont, Ryan Barber, a couple of Chevrolets, and a Chevrolet, or Fords, a Chevrolet of Ross Armour back in 8th. Then it's the Toyota of Dave Olgenzak, who dominated the first part of the race, now hanging back in 9th. And how about it for my buddy, Dave Douglas? Dave Douglas in that number 10 position, double D for Nitro. There you go. Tyson Broad, Gary Wellman, Billy Moe had problems earlier. He's worked his way up to 13th. Gary Wellman, Adam Gray, Jamie Davis, all in the top 15. Oh, and by the way, remember what happened to the driver, Keith Hackney? He's on the lead lap, but he's back in 17th. Still plenty of time to get to the front. Pace truck comes down onto the pit lane. Here comes the virtual thundering herd coming to the line. 27 to go. Back to it again at Pocono.
Yeah, you see it there already. Brad Newman back up to the outside lane, going to cover off Josh Bicklemore. Scott Rankin looking to be side by side going into turns number 1 and 2 with Josh not going to be able to get there. He's going to be all over the back bumper, though. They're going to be single file going through this second turn, but 3 wide towards the back. Keith Hackney right in the middle, in the thick of it, hoping for Kermit and Miss Piggy to tow him all the way in and through the racetrack. Going to be able to make it through the tunnel turn. A 3 wide coming off of the corner. Keith Hackney down to the inside. Jamie Davis right in front. Kute Dow now looking to be 3 wide towards the back. He's going to take the long way around all the way up towards the outside, but up towards the front. Dave O, Ryan Barber making his way up in the top 10. Nice little comeback for Ryan Barber in that 05 machine. Now they're all single filed where they need to be, but it's Josh Micklemore in Brad Newman pulling away from the field. Josh Micklemore trying to get to the back bumper and make a pass on Brad Newman.
Newman in front, clearly in that top position. Micklemore now right there, sets his sights right there on the back of his back tailgate. And all the while, Rankin now safely holding on to third. Here's some racing going on back. Keep an eye on the increase right there. That's Ryan Barber, Dave O, Dave Douglas. They're climbing to the top 10 as they work their way back into 3.
Yeah, working the way back into 3. Dave O down to the inside. Puts his nose in there, shows Ryan Barber he's making the way in there. Ryan Barber going to slide all the way out to the outside wall, but here comes the 7. Billy Mole, one driver that was spinning at one point. He is now back up there towards the top 10. Keith Hackney trying to take that top 10 away from the number 7 of Billy Mole. He's looking down to the inside. Gary Wellman in that number 45 looking to crack the top 10. Keith Hackney not able to get clear of the 7. He's going to stay down to the inside. The next driver in line for both of these two is going to be the 10 of Dave Douglas as Dave O makes a move around Joshua Houghton. He's going to put himself up in P7 as it sits right now, but still double file through the back of the pack in Keith Hackney. Still trying to get around the number 7 of Billy Mole. Jamie Davis, on the other hand, currently sitting 13th, trying to make his way around another driver. Davis gets hooked to the outside wall. Caution is out. Gary Wellman and Jamie Davis getting together, bringing out another caution flag, but this time, not a lot of drivers going to be involved. Just a little bit of right front damage for that number 92.
Toss it out again as we are now working lap number 56 of 80. Here's your replay of what just happened. Another multi-truck accident. Massive cloud cover over the racetrack, and it has just took out another good number of contenders. There goes Gary Wellman. We were talking about Wellman for Simbors in panic mode, trying to climb to the front. Project 36 driver Jamie Davis also involved. They stay up against the safer barrier, and actually they're able to keep going. So if maybe a little time to fix damage, they should be able to be okay and get back in this thing. Watch it again. The green 45 and the 92. One more time. Here they come.
Oh, bam. A little bit of Gary Wellman, hard of the outside fence, kind of pancaked it there, bounced off of it. And, luckily for Jamie Davis and Gary Wellman, they both didn't fall off of the outside wall. They both kept it in the wall. So that way other drivers didn't get involved, but still not what you wanted to see happen. As we get another chopper angle from this incident here with Jamie Davis in hitting the outside wall with his front right, that's going to cause the front right tire to kind of be pushed in. So that toe is definitely going to be knocked out of that number 92. He's going to have some suspension issues. Maybe the wheel's not going to be straight inside the truck. But with how long these pace laps take, Wes, you could potentially get all that damage fixed in just one stop.
I gotta wonder this question as well from another angle. Look at this again. As there goes Jamie Davis, Project 36, Simbor, number 45, Wellman. Again, both of these trucks, T-bone shot up against the outside safer barrier. Then they disconnect, disassemble, and then they turn around and they pull away. Not anybody else collected. Question is, Nigel, are they anybody saying anything about coming down pit road? Money stop time, or we contend to go to the finish, boss man?
I don't think you'll see too many come down pit road just yet. I think you may see some of the back guys that it may have a set of tyres left come down pit road, but I don't see these front ones coming down at all.
Yeah, I'm kind of follow the same concur of Nigel Dillon that the update on pit road presented by CT Electrical. Obviously, a proud sponsor of the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. Remember, we go to Texas next week. It all starts with the Chase, and my goodness, wow, Nigel, I think they all bluffed us. They are coming down pit road. Oh my God! If you got them, use them. Am I right?
See, I don't know about that.
I've just been sacked by our broadcaster producing team.
See, I don't think it's
a
like
jinx
this
of anything.
call.
I think if you've got the tires, Dylan, I think it's a great strategy, dude. If you got the tires, use them. Let me explain something to you. It's monkey see, monkey do. If that leader comes down on pit road, majority of everybody else is going to follow.
Yeah,
the only ones that are in the back, the only ones like Broad or Mole or Hackney or Wellman that had cautions or wrecks or want to go for waiver rounds or free passes, there's the only guys that are going to stay on the racetrack. If they got tires, if they got fuel, the leader comes in, we're following them.
Yeah, me personally, if I were down there on the racetrack, I would do the opposite of what the leader is going to do. This race, this third stage has been caution filled all the way up until this point. There's potentially going to be another one. I would have saved the last set of tires for the last 10 laps of the race. Tires mean such a big difference. You may not think, here at Pocono with it being high speeds or anything like that. It's not kind of like your short track where where tires mean a big difference. But here at Pocono, definitely going to mean a lot for drivers with an extra set of tires in the bag. Me personally, I would have waited. If we would have gotten a caution on lap 65, 70, then I'll go down and take that extra set. But, like you said, monkey see, monkey do, that could have been the money stop. If we have another caution, that's definitely going to be the money stop for a lot of these drivers. Now it just comes down to how quick are all these drivers going to get through the field that ended up staying out, and how much tire are they going to use to get up there towards the front?
I think they're going to be fine. I mean, I really do. You're about to watch these guys. Yeah, literally. I mean, it's like, hey, you go, you jump, I jump, right? If I'm going to jump off the building, you're going to come with me. You're going to hold my hand, and we're going to hopefully land. Because that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to watch. I'm just saying, watch what Brad Newman's doing. And then you got guys like Tyson Broad, Billy Mole, Keith Hackney. I throw his name in the mix. He's one of the Chase Championship drivers. He is in this position as well. He's on the lead lap, but the last time he pitted was lap 51. Okay. The other guys pitted at lap 47. So, but the question is this: how used are these tires compared to these new tires for the guys that pitted at lap 58? So you want to watch at least the top 5 positions to see how important Dylan McDonald. We come back to green. How important is those tires for Newman, Micklemore, Rankin, Beaumont that pitted at lap 58 a lap ago compared to guys that pitted from 47 to 51. It's going to be fun to watch. It might not be nothing, and then it might be, I told you so.
Yeah, look at Brandon Chooch Griffiths, for instance, taking the stage win and then, staying out, and how well he was able to stay up there towards the front, and then obviously getting involved in that third stage mayhem towards the middle of the stage. But looking at the EKG of Tom Freer, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, towards the back of the field, towards the front of the field. He also had a lot of repairs for the number 41 machine, but Pace Truck gonna go off this time by. Gonna lead us back to the green flag is gonna be Broad and Mole. Across the start finish line, Keith Hackney looking to make his way up towards the front, lead a couple laps of this race here at Pocono. But Broad going to be able to take them into turns number 1 all the way in and through. Tom Freer down to the inside of Brad Newman. They're going to be 2 wide, maybe 3. Billy Mole not getting a good restart. Brad Newman and Tom Freer both leaning on each other And here comes Scott Rankin in the number 59 machine. He's going to make himself up there in the top 4, or top 5, excuse me. Going to be looking to take over that 4th position from Brad Newman. Still going to be side by side. 3 wide, 4 wide is able to save it, as everybody's just fighting for those positions. Battle for the race lead. Keith Hackney down to the inside of Ty Broad. Not able to get it done this time by, and this is where it's going to get a little bit hectic. Scott Rankin, Brad Newman getting it together as Scott Rankin bounces off the outside wall.
And here they come again across the stripe now. Under 20 laps to go. This is less than 50 miles remain. Look at now Newman. He'll send it in deep down to the inside. Powers around Rankin. Powers around Dave-O. Goes after Captain Major Tom. Tom Freer now under attack. All this going on now as they work down the long pond straightaway.
Yeah, Dave-O able to keep that position away from Brad and Newman. Brad Newman down on the inside, not going to have any help on that inside. Scott Rankin's going to be able to capitalize on that move as well. They're still going to be side by side. Brad Newman down to the inside, and here comes Fitzroy Beaumont. Fitzroy, 3 wide in turns number 3. What turn 4? And here we go. Scott Rankin gets a really good one. He's going to get turned.
Wow.
He's going to lose 2 positions potentially off of the rear bumper of Brad Newman, but no. Fitzroy backed out of it. He's only going to lose 1 spot. Still going to be side by side. Brad Newman and Scott Rankin going at it. But here comes Josh Micklemore in that number 31 trying to throw his hat into the mix.
While all this goes on, Tyson Broad, Pete Hackney, Billy Moe, Tom Freer, these guys that pitted at lap 47 and 51, notice they're still able to hang with the leaders. Like Newman, like Micklemore, who pitted at lap 58. Dave-O gets around Newman. Look at this now. Freer, Tom Freer inside Billy Moe. Dave-O, this is going on for 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the racetrack now.
Yeah, today's Tom Freer able to get away. He's going to lock up that 3rd position as of right now. But as those 3 were battling, that's going to allow Keith Hackney and Tyson Broad to pull away just a little bit. But now they're single file. If they can work together, we're going to see a 5-way battle for the race lead. Dave-O a little bit loose down to the inside. He's going to be able to save it. Not going to be able to get a run, but a caution is out. And this is where I would pit. Get those fresh tires. A lot of people in the back getting involved. Jeffrey Sinclair, one of them. I believe Riley Curtis Coutedal might have came to a stop to miss it all. Not exactly sure who all was involved. As looking at it now, we're going to get a CT electrical crash report with the replay here. See exactly what transpired. This entire wreck going into turns number 1, looking on board with Coutedal. Oh, Dave Douglas getting involved with Fitzroy Beaumont. Ryan Barber getting involved. He's going to get spun around. Jordan Martin involved. Yeah, Fitzroy getting hit. Oh, Coutedal did get hit. Riley Curtis got hit, but not a lot of damage for Coutedal, Wesley.
Remember, Dylan, this is a couple of those drivers. Riley Curtis, Coutedal, Mr. Engineer, sound, please show the top 12 in the chase after the replay from another angle one more time. Coutedal, Riley Curtis, they don't need this bad luck. These are guys that are trying to make it in to the top 12 spots in the chase. This stuff right here is for the birds. Dave Douglas, into Lawler, Barber, they all pile into the back of the 55. And these guys, look, here we go. Watch the graphic as it changes. Here's your drivers. 93 Curtis, 55 Coutedal. Look at that. Bam! The story speaks for itself.
I mean, yeah, they're tied going into the final race of the regular season. Coutedal and Riley Curtis both battling to stay in it. Ryan Barber getting involved. Dave Douglas getting involved as well. So a lot of those drivers that need the majority of the points to make it to the chase for the championship here tonight getting involved. Not a lot of damage for Riley Curtis or Coutedal, so possibly going to be able to go down into pit lane, get it all fixed. But here we go. Pit stops. Potentially going to be taken here tonight, as not sure who all is going to go in. Right, Billy Mole in. Keith Hackney
again.
going to stay out.
Yeah.
And here we go. This is for all the this is the money stop. This is where everybody's going to get more aggressive than what we've seen so far tonight. But Billy Mole going to lead these drivers down into the pit road.
Got them. If you got them, use them. Seriously. That's exactly what look at this. You got guys like Tom Freer, Broad. Now they're staying out again, right? But look at Billy Mole. Billy Mole was one of those guys that was not pitting the last time. He's pitting this time. Look at these pit exit.
Yeah, and this is why I say, I would have stayed out just in case if there was a caution with 65 on lap 65 or 70. That's where you want to use your last set of tires, and that's what Billy Mole ended up doing. The majority of the field took their tires on lap 58, so you're going to have almost 10 lap difference on tires, but as the more cautions come out, those tires are going to be more prevalent to wear evenly, and then it'll be a straight up battle for the race win. But Tyson Broad currently leading us back to the green flag, letting that Toyota Tundra get the clean air.
Dylan, I'm looking at some of the conversation in the chat box, and I do encourage and I welcome it. But he says if someone did have tires left, it really doesn't matter. Not enough laps and too many pit last time. The tire difference won't be much. I have to disagree with you. I'm sorry. I have to disagree with you because we've really already seen, Dylan, how much it really is when you put new tires. Yeah, it might take about a lap or two, but you've still got 15 laps to go. That's plenty of time to use your tires. Plenty of time to use your tires. If this JT Motorsports was, let's say, per se, green, white, checker Dylan McDonald, and you come down pit road and you took on tires for 2 laps, you are crazy. Why did you do that? You should have held on the track position. But with 15 to go, 14 to go, and a restart next time by, you still got plenty of time to use your tires. You got plenty of time to race. Race on, boys.
Yeah, looking at it now with JT Motorsports, that's the setup builder for the Nitro Racing tires. He's one of the biggest competitors in the field. Doesn't race with us, but I've ran with him a lot. With pitting that on lap 65, getting those fresh tires, it's all about who you battle and how hard you battle. You want to make those passes as quickly as you possibly can to get yourself into the position to get to the front. We seen it earlier. If Dave O doesn't get to battling with Joe Schmo, or Riley, or Josh Micklemore doesn't get to battling with Brad Newman, Tom Freer doesn't get to battling with Matt Danson. If they can stay single file, work together, stick up with Keith Hackney and Tyson Broad, those new tires are definitely going to show their stuff going towards the last 10 laps of this race. As leading up to lap 67, get ready to go back to green, taking 68. So it's definitely going to be a wild card finish here tonight at Pocono. Keith Hackney on the outside, Tyson Broad on the inside, going to lead us back to the green flag. Dave O, Tom Freer, Brad Newman, Josh Micklemore, your top 6 as it sits right now. Pace truck taking a hard left into pit lane. Getting ready to go green one more time.
Green flag.
Tyson needs a really good launch on that inside to get clear of Keith Hackney. Still going to be side by side down the long straightaway, but it's all Tyson with his clean air up towards the front, and he's going to be able to get clear of Keith Hackney. He's going to move up front, and here comes Dave O, fresh tires. He's got clean air up on that outside.
Logitech 00 Toyota went from the bottom lane, pulled up on the top lane, through the block of the Georgia boy and Keith Hackney. He knew the 6 was strong, gets up in front of him. Dave O, Freer, Newman, they're right there battling for position. The 1's coming to the front in turn 2.
And this is just a little bit of what we've seen earlier with the 6 and the 1, 311 being near each other, the 6 getting turned earlier in the race, getting a little bit of damage from Aaron Borg, a little bit of a door slam there by the 6 of Keith Hackney. They're still going to be side by side, but this is not where Keith Hackney wants to be. He's got a little bit of a push from Dave O, but not going to be able to lead that lap. And here we go down the long straightaway, a little bit of a door slap there once again, and another one side by side in the turns number 1 and 2. Keith Hackney going to the point. He has the lead, but here comes the run on the outside. This is not where Keith wants to be. There's a little bit of a gap. He can slide back in, but Dave O just sitting, waiting, licking his chops. He knows these two get to battling this hard. He can be in the right place to take over that race lead. A little bit of looseness for the number 7 machine, but it's still single file for the top 5.
It goes high. Hackney goes low. Broad now back up in that entry. The Logitech black car back up in that top spot. Dave O now down to the inside. He'll make a run now on the bottom. Driver door. Hackney's there. Hackney pulls up in front of the 311. Now Newman. They'll follow single file across the line. And meanwhile, we got trouble. Micklemore. Others are crashing. I saw Micklemore loose, and then everyone else got on the binders to miss the 31. And it is a single truck crash, but the caution will come out with 11 laps to go here at Pocono.
Yeah, 11 laps to go. Josh Micklemore getting around as we get another replay brought to you by CT Electrical. Joshua Houghton down to the inside. And here we go.
Boy.
Coming out of turns number 3, maybe a little bit of a pancake to the outside wall. No, he stayed off the wall. Collects the 080.
Actually didn't collect
Scott
the zero
Rankin, I
Eddie. The
believe.
zero Eddie stayed in the gas. Way to go, Houghton. He didn't collect anybody.
I thought maybe Scott Rankin might have gotten a piece of it, but no.
And then he's able, under his own power, after spinning wildly a couple of times, he's able to go sideways and fight and get back in the gas and turn and get righted. I don't think he's going to be that badly damaged. Way to go, Micklemore.
Oh, yeah, right there. The contact with Scott Rankin there off the outside wall. Just a little bit of, oh, man. Talk about close, too close. Gary Wellman almost ended Josh's race with that rear end hit, but able to miss as we get another look here. That 31 Nitro Energy or Nitro Racing machine. You see it here, just a little bit of tightness between both these drivers, a little bit of door touch in there. Keeps it off the wall. And then obviously with Scott Rankin, the closing distance that Scott Rankin ended up having, just not able to get around there as everybody avoids.
Dean, go on the production truck with I think it's the 45 of Wellman. Watch on board with the driver window of Wellman's truck how close this was for him. Oh my goodness, unbelievable.
Look. Oh,
you know what? It's not Wellman. It's another green truck. Whoever was in the other green truck, we're going to try to find it here. Some guys are pitting in the back of the top 15. None of the top runners are pitting yet. There you are. You're back. Okay. You went away for a second. You popped back up. Who is in the solid green truck, Dylan? That's who I'm looking for. Dean, can we go down the line?
I think it might have been Brad Wright.
Brad Wright, that's who it is. Go on board with Brad Wright, the 19. He's in 15th. Watch this. I think he's the one that gave us the crazy scare there with Micklemore's truck. Watch this, Dylan. I think you're right. Watch this. Here he comes.
Oh, the one time staying in the throttle helps you out.
First you say it, then you do it.
I'm not lifting until I see Checkers or Dale.
Oh man,
Brad Wright's got the mentality of checkers or wreckers, and he's looking to see the checkers. He doesn't want to be a wrecker. He wants to see the checkered.
Nigel, back down to you for another update powered by CT Electrical. I think these drivers are content. You see what I was telling you about the final pit stop the last moment ago? None of the front runners came down pit road now. You're in your bed. This is what you got. This is what you're going to race for the finish.
That's right. A lot of drivers would have made a lot of changes to these cars at the last pit stops. I think you'll find all these cars stay out to the end.
This is it, guys, right here. This is it. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer here. 8 laps to go. Possibility for overtime, Dylan McDonald. And there's 16 minutes left to go in the race as well in sim time.
Yeah, I mean, 8 laps to go in this race. We can definitely get it done in these 16 laps, but the story that's going to be told here tonight is going to be Brad Newman chasing win number 17 of his career in the Australian Truck Series. And then you got Dave O down on the inside trying to chase win number 3 of the Australian Truck Series. And then Matt Danson currently sitting P number 5. So you got all these juggernauts in the top 5. You got Keith Hackney, Dave O, Matt Danson, and Brad Newman. Those are going to be your juggernauts of the series. Brad Newman knows how to get to the front. He's going to use every piece of his truck to get there. As Pocono, wide track, going to be able to use the bumper just a little bit and move them out of your way. Doesn't want to wreck them, just wants to rattle their cage a little bit. Give them a little bit of a Dale Earnhardt type feel to the racers out here on the track. He's not afraid to use what he's got. Pace truck. Hard left into pit lane one more time. Tyson Broad leading them back to the green flag. We are green for one more time. Hopefully, side by side, a better restart for Keith Hackney. He's going to be able to take over the race lead going into turns number 1 and 2. As outside is going to be able to prevail. They're going to be together. Keith Hackney.
Well, that's the way to do it.
Spin it
Broad
out.
did not lift. What were you thinking, Broad? That is just not the way you race somebody down in the corner. Tyson Broad had the lane. Hackney had the lane. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Broad knew the 6 was going to get around him. He didn't lift. And into the wall goes the 6. That wasn't right. We got beef. School's in session, as my buddy, Mr. Redneck announcer Jacob Reeves would say.
Yeah, looking at it now here, you can see there Tyson moves up just a little bit. Keith comes off of the wall to set up for turn number 1 and 2, not giving the room to Keith to move all the way down to the inside, and hard to tumble in the outside wall to Keith Hackney, the Nitro Racing driver, number 6. In the outside wall once again.
And watch this again from another angle, right? I mean, you can see plain as day. There goes Hackney. Hackney's giving him room. Now they start to come. Now they're going to the corner. They know they got to dive. Now that's not Hackney coming down on the 00. That's Hackney acknowledging, Dylan, that we're about to go into the corner. This is Broad not giving up his spot. And it makes the 6 panic, and then it makes the 00 panic. The 00's not lifting. The 6 is going in the wall here. Watch this. Look at this. They realize they're going in the corner. Look at this. Yeah, I mean, and then Hackney already gets bounced off of the passenger side. His truck's already it's already loose. He's going in the wall, Dylan. There's no way to keep this from happening. What just went on?
Yeah, that, as a racer standpoint, if I knew that the second place driver got a better restart than me, I would have conceded going into turns number 1 and 2, just not be on his door where he wanted to be. Keith Hackney getting his spot back. He's going to get right up alongside of that number 00, show his displeasure, rev his engine, kind of run him up on the outside. Yeah,
I don't blame him. I don't blame
there
him.
it is.
I don't
Keith
blame
Hackney
him.
Not showing his
Oh, he's showing his
with the
displeasure.
00.
He's showing his displeasure. He's right now. And I don't blame him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is...
Hackney's badly damaged, guys. He's going to have to come down pit road. That was just a, hey, dude, I don't like the way you drove me. That wasn't right. No, Hackney's going to come down pit road. He's badly damaged. Look at the toe end. Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing, though, Dylan, Dean, and we talked about this, Dylan and Nigel earlier. They want to win. Their mentality is we want to win. Keith Hackney has 4 wins on the year. He has the most of anybody. This is the guy that you better mark as a man to win the championship because of what he's done in the the regular season. Here's your regular season guy besides Dave-O by virtue of points, but the man with the most wins is Keith Hackney. And when we reset the points, that's going to be in his favor, Dylan. Most wins gets points. Most stage wins gets points. This guy is going to be the number 1 seed, but what you just did is you took his opportunity away of going for win number 5. Hell yeah, I'd be mad right now. I'm not saying that Tyson Broad is, like he shouldn't be disqualified or punished or anything, but the way he raced a veteran in number 6 for Nitro's Keith Hackney was totally uncalled for. You don't do that. You just don't do that. You've got to give your guy room. You got to give him room. He panicked, Dylan. He knew that the 6 was going to beat him. He knew the 6 was going to beat him.
Especially being on a fresh restart there, like we've seen there in the replay, Wes. Keith Hackney getting a better restart than the 00 on that outside. He had the position clean and clear.
Yeah.
The 00 should have moved down the racetrack to get away from the side draft. I get you want a side draft, kind of bring them back to you. But once you lock together, that's kind of where it goes from side draft to just being the way that you wanted to be, and then obviously trying to get yourself set up for the next corner just didn't end up going well for
and let me clarify. Let me clarify, Dylan, because this just got put in my ear. I'm not race control. We don't have any decisions on what goes on. We're just giving our opinions of what we see what happened on the racetrack. So I don't have any call of saying the 00 should be parked or, he should be, sit to the rear or whatever. That's why I said it's not our call. But as far as what we've seen in real time, that wasn't right. That wasn't right. If I was the 6, I would have probably put him in the wall if I'd have got a hold of him, as far as on the cool down. But, and we're ready. Exactly. So if we're stirring the pot there, it's for the audience. What's your thoughts? Do you agree? Was it fair or foul? Was the 00 wrong? Was the 6 wrong? I think the 00, I don't think anybody's wrong in this ordeal, Dylan. I just think that the 00 panicked. Because he knows the 6. And guess what? He might do the same dang thing to the 30 or the 311 because he knows these trucks are faster and they're more experienced. We're coming back to green with 3 to go.
Yeah, you see it there. Matt Danson up on the outside. Brad Newman right behind the 00. Going to be side by side for the 1 and 30. Down in turns number 1. He's going to be able to get clear, but here comes Dave-O. In that 311, up on the outside, Matt Dancy Dance on the outside as well. Brad Newman going to be able to get clear. He's going to take over P number 2. And it's Calamity towards the back. A big block by the number 1 all the way down the long pond straightaway. And here we go. Matt Danson down to the inside of Brad Newman. They're going to be side by side. Matt Danson move him back up to the top 2. And here comes Dave-O down to the inside. He's going to make it a 2-for-1 special going through turn number 3 as of right now. But Matt Danson going to drive it a little bit deeper into turns number 3. He's going to be able to get clear of Dave-O. Dave-O is going to be able to slide up right behind Matt Danson. And they're 2-3 wide towards the back. Everybody trying to do it. And here we go. The snaking down the front stretch. Tyson Broad trying to break the draft as best as he can. 3 laps to go. Down in turns number 1 once again. Matt Danson sitting second. Dave-O in third. Brad Newman in fourth. As there's 1 car towards the back up in the outside wall.
And here they come down the back straightaway. Look at now the battle of cat and mouse continuing. Broad still holding on to that top spot. Broad in the lead. Behind him Danson. Dave-O. Boy, Tyson Broad. Call it fair or foul on Hackney. You got to throw it out the window. You got to put it behind you. You got to do what you got to do to win. Broad's doing just that. He's got Danson behind him, but I don't think they're going to make a caution. Trouble. Caution's out. Oh, and a big crash! My God, we saw a truck flying at your screen! Adam Gray is one of them! Brad Wright is involved! Whoever was the other black truck, he was flying in front of the screen when he got airborne.
We get another replay here by CT Electrical. Going to see exactly what happens going through the tunnel turn. A little bit of tightness for a lot of the drivers. They're going to be able to get through it, but turns 3, you got Ryan Barber. Oh, the 7, Billy Mole, down to the inside of Adam Gray. Oh, a little bit of a kind of a blowover for the 57. Oh, Brad Wright getting
there
hit.
goes Brad Wright airborne. There's
it's
our
Logan
buddy
King.
airborne.
Oh, it's Logan Kais. Logan Kais getting airborne. Absolutely shot putted towards the up towards the sky.
Yeah, he was bicycled through the air, man. That was a hard, heavy impact for the 57 there. The Vegemite entry into Logan Kais, actually Wellman into Logan Kais. Watch this again. We got to dissect this one. Oh, and by the way, you wanted it, you got it. We got overtime coming up here at Pocono, and the clock is down to 7 minutes remaining also. Watch this. Billy Moe into the 57. Around goes the 57. Bottom of the racetrack. Back up. Brad Wright gets tagged. Just hits the machine of the Logan Kais, the Talladega winner in the X Series on Tuesday. And others go spinning everywhere. We'll go on board with Kais. This is going to be fun here, Dylan. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, we're going to look on board. Scott Rankin able to get around this wreck as well. You see it there? The Vegemite sandwich going to go down to the inside wall. Kerpow, kablang.
Yum.
There he goes. Do-si-do, spin around and round, and here we go. As he's going to be able to get that truck pointed in the right direction.
Can we see that, Dean, from the tailgate, not from the front windshield, or from the tailgate of the 343 of Logan Kais? Watch this from the tailgate, everybody, and look at how different more graphic in detail the crash is than from the windshield. Watch this. Wow. You see that?
We're going to need the 343 in the medical tent for concussion protocol.
Wow.
As a big hit for the number 343. Scott Rankin able to snake his way through this wreck. Brad Newman getting a piece of it as well. There you go. The Vegemite sandwich truck down to the inside. Hits the inside wall, tags Brad Wright.
Chat box. We've got the chat box lively here. Spiky, JT, Brad. And let me say this. We are not race control. We don't have any say of whether this guy gets parked or foul or penalized or whatever. We're calling the race. And I see where people are saying, well, the 00, why should he concede? Send it for the trees. I seen one comment where somebody said Hackney came down. I don't know. You might need to get your peripheral vision checked, because you could literally see the 00 literally pulling up in front of the 6. But with that being said, I love it. This is what, as long as you keep it lively and civil. You don't want to go to your virtual neighbor's house and drag them out of the bedroom window, right? I mean, then it's all good. And Dylan, I don't want to take anything away from Tyson Broad. If he wins this race, big kudos to him. Right? I mean, look at what he's doing. He's holding off the likes of Danson. He's holding off Dave-O. He's holding off Newman. He's holding off Freer. That's a hungry pack of wolves that are behind you, buddy, because they're looking for their first win of the year. Yeah, Matt Danson. Yeah, Danson needs points. These guys are desperate.
This is the type of the race where you're going to see those bumpers come out, the elbows stay flared out. Who's going to be able to get to the back bumper of the 00 and make it worth their while? You know, you're looking at it now. Matt Danson, 1 point out of being in the chase. Where he sits right now, is enough money.
He wins, Dylan. He's going into the chase. He wins. He's in.
Yes, I mean, same with Kute Dow. Depending on where Kute Dow is on the charts, he could potentially be in as well.
Holdsworth's on the bubble. Riley Curtis might be on the bubble. Ryan Barber. They had bad nights. I'm understanding Holdsworth is out of the race. He's hoping that things will not be another first-time winner, because it could bump him out. But Nigel, I toss it back to you before we get ready for a 5-mile, 2-lap shootout here in overtime, because we are going into overtime here on Highline. This is the reason that the Australian NASCAR dignitaries created this type of chaos and mayhem. These type of storylines, not only leading up to the chase, but what starts with the chase for trucks in X Series next week.
That's correct. We go to do these types of things. We want to see some action, and we want to see the entertainment for everyone watching at home.
Here we go. Dylan, it's time, buddy. Clock's down to the end. We're going to overtime. Got to get the white flag. Back underway, my friend. Let's do it. Pocono.
Yeah, here we go. Matt Danson not getting a good restart on that outside. He's going to lose 1 or 2 positions. Dave-O going to be right on the back bumper. Kute Dow in the top 5 as it sits right now. He's going to be battling with Brad Newman down to the inside. But it's Dave-O taking over that second position. He's going to come across the nose of Matt Danson. Going to be able to keep it up in second position. And there he goes. Tyson down to the inside trying to break the draft. But Dave-O got to his outside. Possibly no. Going to shut the door before the...
Wow.
The door before the tunnel turn. And here we go. Coming around to take the white flag. And Brad Newman trying to do everything he can to get there towards the front. Ben Faulkner making a good run. He took over the top 5 position from the 55 of Kute Dow. And here we go. White flag in the air. This race is official. No more restarts. No more overtime. It all comes down to this. Dave-O staying in the draft. What does Dave-O do? He looks down to the inside. He's going to throw the block. And here we go. Brad Newman's got to pick up. And here comes Matt Danson.
Newman up the middle, Dave-O up top side. Now Freer watching, dancing on the bottom, dancing to the inside. He door slams off of Dave-O's passenger door. Here comes Newman. Newman to go 3 wide. He can't. He turns him. He got him up the track. He goes to the inside. He's going to go after him one more time, coming to the finish.
They're making it harder for each other, but here comes Brad Newman. He's going to be able to take over that second position. He's going through the grass.
Wow.
Not going to be enough.
Grass.
And Tyson Broad coming around to take the checkered flag. Brad Newman in second. Third is going to be Matt Danson.
Kute Dow crashes on the checkered flag. And now Dave-O, the frustrations have settled in, guys. That was a Nitro Hackney Dave-O shot to Tyson Broad. You might have won the race, but buddy, that's what we think about your win. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't.
Unbelievable.
Me personally, I didn't like what just happened right there.
Unbelievable. Tyson literally running like a scalded dark alley cat, trying to avoid the possums coming after him, fighting for the last piece of cheese in the trash can, holds off everybody that is in his midst, and Tyson Broad is going to win here at Pocono. Dylan, I can't believe it. I got to give him props. Man, oh man, I got to give him props. You know what? You know I'm going to talk to him about Keith Hackney. You know I'm going to talk to him about his thoughts of what happened. But he won the race. Congratulations, Tyson Broad.
Yeah, he was there where it needed to be, but the podium finishers as it sits right now is going to be Tyson Broad with the win, Brad Newman in second, and Matt Danson finishing out our top 3. Going to go ahead and look at a little bit of a burnout here before we get over to our little bit of a break. Get these drivers into the broadcast chat booth. Hear from the top 3 themselves, but while he burns it down, we'll be right back.
Keith Hackney is now retaliating, going after the 00. Keith Hackney going after the 00, obviously. Frustrations there. I feel like I'm doing the Northwest high five salute because that's how they celebrated the Northwest Series. Podium finishers. Brad Newman, again, in the crash, Tyson Broad, Brad Newman, Matt Danson. We're going to go to a break, as Dylan said, but first let's show you the results as how they finished here. All right, we're going to go to a break, everybody. We'll stay right back in a moment, and then we'll come back for the results.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back with the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. Going to bring up the final results for tonight's race. Is going to be Tyson in first. Second is going to be Brad Newman. In third is going to be Matt Danson as we get the drivers into the booth. But going to go ahead and go through our unofficial or our official results for the race.
Let's before we go any further, let's say it's unofficial. It's not official yet. There might be changes done, Dylan. So let's just say right now it's unofficial as it stands right now. Let's just, for covering the basis, let's not say it's official. Let's say it's unofficial.
As it sits right now, it's going to be Tyson Broad with a race win. Brad Newman in second. Third is going to be Matt Danson. Fourth is going to be Dave O. Fifth is going to be Fitzroy Beaumont. Sixth, Joshua Houghton. Seventh is going to be Ben Faulkner. Eighth, Chris Bleakley. Ninth is going to be Riley Curtis. And rounding out your top 10 is going to be Tom Freer.
Mo's going to finish at 11th. Jeffrey Sinclair, 12th. Scott Rankin, Josh Mickelmore, Gary Wellman, Ross Armour, Logan Kais, the Talladega X Series winner on Tuesday night. He will finish in the top 20 along with Adam Gray, Kute Dow, and Ryan Barber. And to add to that, what we said about it being official, there might be things that the Australian NASCAR committee board might be looking at doing or making changes or thinking about. So right now, the right thing to do is just say it's an official as we got the rest of the rundown here, Dylan.
Yeah, 31st will be, I believe it's going to be...
Yeah, 21st.
Oh, my bad. 21st is going to be Dave Douglas. 22nd is going to be Angus Lawford. 23rd will be Brad Wright. 24th is going to be Jamie Davis. 25th, Keith Hackney. 26th, Jason Martin. David Lawler in 27th. 28th is going to be Brandon Chooch Griffiths. 29th is going to be Kevin Clark. In running up to top 30 is going to be Giuseppe Maialo.
So the finishing order will find Andy Barber, Aaron Borg, Jason Holdsworth. He's out of the race. He was in the 12 before the race. Can he make it into the chase? We'll find out all that when it's all hashed out later on. Troy Davidson and Jonathan Hancock of the 35 trucks here tonight at Pocono. They did go into overtime, 83 laps, 208 miles, 3 green flag lead changes with 6 drivers, 13 cautions for 38 laps. Tyson Broad was the hard charger and the race winner in the Logitech entry, up 26 spots. Most laps led, 26 for Tyson Broad. And Tom Freer was the fastest man. Dave Oljanczak for Nitro was the pole driver. Dylan? Let's get the
Yeah,
thoughts of the podium, my friend. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, starting off with our race winner, that's going to be Tyson Broad in the 00, making your debut start here in the Australian Truck Series. You come away with the race win. You put yourself in a position where you needed to be coming to the end of the race. You did all you had to do. You kept it up towards the front. You kept the truck clean. Kind of walk me through your entire race, how the first two stages went, what tires were like, and how long did you think you could hold off everybody towards the first part of this race?
Um, yeah, definitely was not expected. Sort of only decided to rock up sort of maybe a couple hours before the server opened. And yeah, just sort of first two stages, we're just sort of trying to get a hang of what the car was doing and how to look after the tires best in preparation for the final stage. And then from that point on, decided to pit somewhat early. When we had one of the yellows early on in stage 3, and then it was sort of a split decision in terms of whether or not we stay out and pit with a yellow with I think about 30 to go, and a lot of people did. We decided not to, and managed to get up the front, and I didn't think I'd be able to hold them off, but once we started getting yellows quite regularly, it was like, okay, they're not really getting much of a tire advantage because they're having to push on restarts and that to get by people. So it was just a matter of keeping calm near the end there and coming away with a W.
Tyson, I've got to be the guy to ask the elephant in the room question, and it's only me as a job as a broadcaster. What is your take in the cockpit of what happened between you and Keith Hackney? And then obviously, after winning the race, getting the checkered flag, congratulations on the win. After all that happened, Dave Oljanczak retaliates. It looks like I've been informed, or it's looking like Dave O has been disqualified. And I will say, I have to say that I think that's admirable, right? That there's no need for what happened in post. So we're going to be talking to Brad Newman and Matt Danson for second and third. But can you give us your overall of the turn of events that happened between the 6 and the 311 of Nitro?
Yeah, sort of the incident with Davo, first of all, was just, me seeing a gap on the restart and having, I think, a tire delta at that point. So I was like, well, I've got to make up spots as best I can. And just a little bit of side-to-side contact. It wasn't anything much. But obviously, Davo thought it was different. And then, with the incident with Keith, just sort of felt he'd come across my nose a bit when I was still far enough alongside. And usually, I haven't really had a proper look at it to decide for sure. But based on my viewpoint, it was just a case of him turning down and not recognizing that I hadn't quite turned down in for the corner yet.
Yeah, able to come away with the race win. A little bit of adversity there towards the end, but you were able to capitalize on that and stay up towards the front. Able to get your first win of the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. Another first-time winner in the Truck Series. But Tyson, if there's anybody on that 00 Logitech Toyota Tundra you'd like to give a shout-out to, the floor is yours.
Thanks to the series, first of all, for putting on this series. It's obviously kind of picked up in popularity a little bit recently. To Logitech G, ODBM for their ongoing support. And as well, sponsors, obviously, Logitech G, Revolution Race Gear, iLiveries, Sam Blacklock Media, Hybo Racing Simulations, and broadcast as well for putting on a good show.
There's going to be our race winner of Tyson Broad, finishing off with a stellar performance. Second
First
place.
career win, Dylan. First career win, by the way, for Tyson Broad. 6th career start of Australian NASCAR and his first ever win. 2nd top 5 and 3rd top 10 of his career. So way to go, Tyson, again.
Thank you.
They're going to be our second place finisher. That's going to be Brad Newman in the number 1 machine. Brad, You had the incident on lap number 1 going through the tri-oval. You battled back from that. You were able to come up just one spot short of collecting career win number 17 in the truck series. The last couple of laps, when you got to run through it, I mean, you were up as high as second, then you went back down to fourth, then you went up to third, and then you were able to squeak by P number 2 going through the grass. I guess we can call it the pass in the grass at Pocono. But what more did you need from that number 1 machine to get yourself up there in that first position to get your first race win of the season?
Thanks, mate. Not much. The speed was there. It just kept checking up with the cars at the front. Dave was probably way too polite or kind to Tyson. I would have sent him towards the fence for much less than some of the driving he was doing. So yeah, it just kept checking up.
Brad, I got to ask you this question, my friend, because it feels like sometimes you're on the side of controversy of doing things or retaliating or at least defending yourself for the Lobs program. What's your take of the chain of events of the overtime finish and then obviously what Dave-O did in post that it looks like unofficially right now has secured you a second place finish?
Not really my place to comment it, to be honest. But like I said, I thought Dave was actually being pretty polite to him for some of the moves that were getting put out there. I would have sent him towards the fence during the race. So that's my take on it.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Still able to come away with that second place finish here tonight, Brad. Congratulations. If there's anybody on that number 1 machine you'd like to give a shout out to, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Just you guys as always putting these events on. The guys at Lobs Esports and Nitro had a quick truck tonight, so thanks to them. Thanks, guys.
Going to go ahead and move on to our third place finisher. That's going to be Matt Dancy Dance in the number 30 machine. Battled from the back all the way to the front. We thought you had a shot at taking the race lead going down the Long Pong straightaway, going into the tunnel turn, but just came up just a little bit short. Matt, kind of run me down your race here tonight. You missed a lot of the wrecks. You weren't involved in anything. You needed the great point night here tonight. You did that. You finished top 3. What does that say about your season in retrospect before you go to the Chase next week?
Yeah, I mean it's been an interesting season. We're sort of in that. I don't think I was in the top 20 points for most of the season until this last sort of week or so, the last sort of 2 weeks. But we've had speed at all times. I mean, there's plenty of wins we've left on the table, and for various circumstances, it's been kind of taken away. So the last few weeks it's just been about bringing it back to basics and maybe less razzle dazzle. So when these guys are going hammer and tong, I wanted to win, but just trying to keep my head on my shoulders and get a result. I mean, realistically, I definitely had the speed to win. The truck was incredible. We just never got any chance to really show it. We had that one long run, and I was just watching my times, even though I was sort of initially biding my time behind a lot of traffic. I think it was only that first run really where we got anything, but I knew once if we'd got 10, 15 laps on the tyres, then I would have been marching away. But we never got past lap 3, so that made it a bit more difficult, and I had to change up my style. I'm not usually the balls to the wall style. I like to be a bit more patient, but it was pretty crazy at the end, and I really should have had that run. Dave-O chose to follow Tyson, and that pretty much like if we get a shot of that long pond straight, just come up over here. So I'm watching this unfold, and you see me even just kind of backing up this corner here as Brad's kind of pulling away from me because I'm thinking, okay, something's going to happen here. I just want to duck low on whatever it is, and I was hoping that they'd had enough of a kerfuffle that I was going to get Tyson, but I knew from about this point that it was going to be a little bit close. But then we really hooked up. Like I said, my truck was incredible on the bottom especially, but we're getting out of here, and I thought if only I can get ahead and clear Dave, and I feel like I do, but then he sticks it up high, he stays there. But if he'd come with me, see, maybe I didn't fully clear him, so he's got no choice really. But he could have done me a solid and just jumped on the brakes, really, couldn't he? But at this point in time, I was hoping if I could just side draft Tyson enough to hold his progress, and we could go into the tunnel turn side by side, then I felt like I would have been in the catbird seat. But as you see here, then all of a sudden Dave gets my right rear with the side draft, and I lose all my momentum, and I was just praying. I was every finger and toe crossed that I still had an overlap on Tyson, but at that point in time he gets clear, and then you see him just duck to the bottom as he should, whatever. And then I don't know if this is the one where this is
He's in the
so
grass.
Then hit.
This is when he goes in the grass.
That's right. Yeah. So Dave and Tyson are like locked up here, and I know that Dave's either going to bounce off the wall or both of them are, and so you can see the flame coming out of my eye. I've got to check my thing up so that I don't run Dave over, and then he kind of does still bounce off the wall. I thought I'd given enough room, but then I got to give him a bit extra, and then now at this point I know the race win's gone, unless basically Tyson's just got the red carpet laid ahead of him, and then I throw a really egregious block on Fitzroy here, which I wouldn't normally do this in normal circumstances. I don't think. Oh no, that's pretty good. That's clean. He gets it right in the middle. That's fine. Sorry, Fitzroy.
Yeah.
And then and that secures me, and then I should have done a harder job of side drafting Brad here. If it was like the last race of the season, we would have had a different situation. Look at him go. How am I going to side draft? That's a good question. But he's miles ahead of me at the moment. But then these guys kind of hang each other up. I wish Brad had just completely centered on Tyson. That would have been epic. But so now I'm just trying to focus on get a good run, because I know at this point in time we've had a good points day. Race is going to be done. We should be all right to move on to the next week, whatever. But we should be in. I think based on.
Look, 3 wide, 2 rows deep, coming off that corner. Matt, I gotta ask you, when do you get out of panic mode, right, Matt? You're the defending Australian NASCAR Championship driver, but you've had kind of a roller coaster year this year, I guess is a nice way of summing it up, because I've followed both races you've run when you race. Yeah. When do you just say, you know what? I'm not going to try to get my truck tore all to hell. I'm going to just try to finish here. And you back off. You back away. Or was that mindset out the window?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that we're ever in panic mode. I think where I've gone wrong, early in the season is maybe trusting some I hate to say this, but trusting some drivers, that I shouldn't trust. And I've just gone back to having more of a cynical view of how they're going to exit a corner, how they're going to enter a corner, and there's some guys, there's a bunch of guys really that you can trust. I shot a little thank you to Joshua. I'm going to say his name wrong. Horton. I always think of Horton here.
Joshua Horton. Yeah. Houghton,
yeah. But because he could have run me over a couple of times at one of those little segments after we'd done that pit stop where we were all skewed up. But so there are guys that you can definitely trust, but it's crazy. And because I'm such a bad qualifier, I come from Narnia at the start of these races a lot of the time, so that's where I was getting in trouble. But the race for P22 is somehow somewhat more intense than the race for P1 and P2 and P3 at times, which that kind of blows my mind. Like a lot of these wrecks seem like they were from 15th, 20th on back, which I think there's a bit of introspection needed there from everyone in the field. But I think that's been the biggest thing, is just shifting to be just really going ultra patient until you work your way through into that kind of 15th to 10th range, and then then we can race a bit more. But it's just kind of picking your battles, waiting. I mean, I think I'm not sure who it was. Maybe it was Nigel I was watching the Talladega broadcast, I think it was, or maybe it was a different race, and he mentioned how I just randomly popped up in the top 5, and that's kind of how I just like to operate nowadays. Is just slowly but surely, nothing fancy to start with, because I know that I'm pretty confident that I'll get there on pace if I am just patient with it. So that's how we do it.
Good answer.
Yeah. Thanks, Wesley. Appreciate you. But yeah, obviously relieved to get the points tonight, and like I said, bummed because I feel like forget Coda, that doesn't count. But Bristol, we should have had the win. Got kind of wiped across the fence there, which was maybe a bit of retaliation for a driver was a bit upset with something on the Tuesday. So we'll write that one off. That's fine. But I feel like I should have won that race. this one, I feel like we had this one sorted out. And there's been, Rockingham, a bunch of other races that we've had in the bag. So at least we're peaking at the right part, and hopefully we could do something in the chase. Fingers crossed.
I guess one thing that we can say is you're going to be the Carson Hocevar of this series. It's always going to come when you least expect it as it sits right now. But Matt, congratulations on your top 3 here tonight. If there's anybody on that number 30 machine you'd like to give a shout out to, the floor is
you
now
just
yours.
gave me heart failure there, looking at the points that just popped up on the screen, but then I saw the after coda. So phew,
I think you're in. I really think you're in. I think you're in, Matt. I really do.
Surely those other boys were way back. Yeah. So, who do I have to thank? Obviously, Altus Esports and Altus Engineering. Like I said, the truck was a rocket. Just felt like I loosened it up a little bit, and I almost felt like I'd loosened it up too much. But then it sort of came good, like right at the end. Could have done with being just fractionally more snug. But so Altus Engineering through VRS, Virtual Racing School. Obviously, everyone involved behind the scenes that puts it on. Everyone that drove me clean, I can appreciate all you guys. The drivers that scared me, please don't scare me so much. You guys in the commentary booth, Wesley, I look forward to hearing you reach decibel levels that are, some would think is not humanly possible. But it's always
Mickey
an enjoyable.
Mouse time. It's Mickey Mouse time.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. But I look forward to that. And Dylan, no doubt, called me Dancy Dance a few times. So thank you.
Dancy Dancing.
Right. Yeah, Dancy Dance. But so thank you, boys, and of course, biggest thanks of all to the family, Oliver and Wes, my Wesley, that is, not you, Wesley. But thanks to them for being the best, 2 little sons you could ever ask for, and my wife Alex for supporting me doing this every Tuesday, Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's going to do it for our top 3 here tonight. 80 laps, well, 83, you could say, up and down here at Pocono. Long race here for Pocono, but now we're going to step on over, get ready to look at the rest of the series schedule, and then possibly even look at the standings if they're updated and ready to go.
Dylan, there might be penalties. There might be suspensions. There might be, like I said, this race is unofficial, man. They're gonna probably hash this thing out. I'm sure we're getting ready to go back to bed because it's 8:30 in the morning, America, North Carolina, Indiana, USA time. They're probably going to stay up all night looking at all this because I think the deserving 12 drivers are going to go. Man, can I just say this, Dylan, and we'll get off the air here. And I'm going to take the word that our producer, Dean, says. We're entertainers. We're not race directors. We're not race control. We call what we see. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's got a what you have on your backside. Opinions are like that. Everybody's got one. I'm trying to say that in the most nice professional way as I possibly can. But with that being said, though, Dylan, do I question some of the things that Broad did to Hackney and vice versa? Yes. That's not my call. I'm just saying this is what happened in real time. Maybe things are different. Maybe we need to look at this from 3, 4, 5 different angles. And what we see one way might be a different perspective from another. He still wins the race. Congratulations, Tyson Broad, your first ever career win. For Davo for Davo and Keith Hackney to intentionally wreck him after the race was over is completely uncalled for. That to me is just low class. If you want to wreck me while I ain't took the checkered flag, then by God, let's have at it. But don't crash me after I've already won to take your celebration away. And then you've just put yourself probably on a boat where you're probably going to get disqualified. You might be suspended. You might be fined. All 3. It's whatever the Australian NASCAR officials come up with. But I will tell you this, though, Dylan. This is the reason why they changed the format. This is why we got away from this damn one-race win-and-you're-in nonsense to go to the Chase and the playoffs. And I can't wait to see what we're going to see in the Chase when it starts next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Texas being the first race on the thing, being next Thursday. Texas, 167 laps, 40-80, and then the finish to 167. Then we go to a road course with Watkins Glen, the Monster Mile, following Charlotte, Nashville, in Michigan to end out our 6-race chase for the championship. Take a couple weeks off, then a 12-race span over 6 weeks, double headers all the way in and through, which me and Wesley will be up in the broadcast booth to bring you that live coverage here on Highline HQ. If you guys are out there and you guys have liked what you have seen all season long, make sure you guys hit that like button. Keep sending us all of your comments. Hit the bell notification so you guys don't miss anything that Highline HQ has to offer throughout the entire week of racing. And subscribe. It's completely free. It just helps us bump up the viewers, get everybody out there that wants to join in on the action-packed fun that the Truck Series and the X Series has to offer on a Tuesday nights and a Thursday nights here for the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. My name is Dylan McDonald from the booth with Wesley Allen, Nigel Seidel, and in the production trailer going to be Dean Hopton. Want to say thanks to everybody out there for tuning in, following along. Make sure you guys take care. Brush your hair.
I'm getting a haircut today, by the way, guys.
I am too.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.